Hello, and welcome to Nostalgia Marcana. I'm your host, Doug Lief. Each episode of this podcast, we'll look back on the movies, TV, games, people, and phenomena that we still love talking about all these years later, and ask ourselves why these bits of pop culture still enchant us today. This week, we'll be revisiting...
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
That is so fetch. Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Swing away, Meryl. Meryl. Swing away.
Where am I? Monsters Incorporated. We scare because we care.
You're a wizard, Harry.
You shall not pass!
Sometimes I doubt your commitment to sparkle motion.
You're safe. This house is house. This house is house. This house is house. This house is house.
From the entire Channel 4 news team, I'm Veronica Corningstone.
And I'm Ron Burgundy. Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
We survived Y2K somehow, and now we are in year 24 of the Willennium. I hope you're all enjoying your Willennium as much as we are, because today we're talking about the aughts, specifically our favorite films of 2000 through 2004. So this is going to be similar to the film rankings we did for the 90s, but I have a feeling this is going to look a whole lot different. It was a different decade. It's a different crop of movies and just a different style of filmmaking. So I'm really excited to be delving back into this. So to help me do it, we have our usual crew. First, to my right, my producer, the best lady I know, my wife, Amy Lief.
Thank you. I still haven't honed that
her classic catchphrase. Thank you. And of course, returning for this, our good buddy Ryan Merlo.
Hello, everybody. Hope your week is going well. I guess it's Monday, so
are you on a job interview
well.
or are you on a podcast?
Sorry.
And finally, our other good buddy, we couldn't do this without her, Tania Newton.
Oh, thank you for having me. I love you just as you are. That'll come back later.
Perhaps a clue for later.
Yes.
Perhaps.
So, guys, I'll sort of just start this the way we did last time. Of course, we're not going to really be talking about our nostalgic memories in a targeted way, but in general, I'm curious to hear your nostalgic memories of this 5-year chunk of films. So, Amy, I'll start with you.
I am not prepared. Yeah, I think that this was an interesting time, much like our last list. We're kind of like that snapshot of our lives and how we were from 15 to 18, 19, 20. I can't do
It
math.
was 5 years.
We're off to a good start. I think this was the movies from this period that I chose were pretty, at least the top 5 were pretty indicative of the age I was, being in my early 20s and kind of that a lot of kind of carefree girly type things going on. I also mentioned this to Doug earlier, that this is a very interesting time. I feel like cinematically, at least on our list, there's not a ton of drama. There's not like perhaps people just needed something light after 9/11. I don't know if that had something to do with it, but I feel like at least on my list and from what I was gathering, we're not going to have a lot of the movies that we saw from Ryan's list last time, like The Dead Man Walking and the American History
the boring
X
shit.
Yeah.
And
Serious.
You mean my Holocaust movies aren't going to be anywhere on here?
Such a fucking downer, man.
Maybe they will be, but at least I didn't notice that as a trend for the movies that I was seeing pop up on my list. And this was so hard to curate, by the way. I know I've been talking for a long time, but we were just talking about how I think I've got 40 I started with like 40 or 30 movies on my list, and like finally kind of cured it down to the 10. But a lot of movies. I don't know what else I'm going to say. Can you cut some of this because I feel like I'm rambling?
Sure. Ryan, tell me a little about how your nostalgic memories shake out for this 5-year chunk of your life.
Yeah, so the 90s for me was all, and if you guys listened, it was very, very dramatic based, very acting. I was, most of my movies won acting Oscars. The Academy and I seemed to agree on things in the 90s. The 2000s are totally different. At least these 5 years are my dramedy comedy era. And I think a lot of it has to do, I do have one war movie, but everything else is very light. I don't think very many of them were up for any type of awards. In the 90s, our 90s show, if there were two that I was kind of going back and forth with, I would think, okay, well, which one? I would kind of look and see, okay, well, this one's more critically acclaimed, so maybe I'll go with that one. This one, I didn't have that problem because it was pretty much none of them were critically acclaimed. Pretty much none of them were critically acclaimed, so it's kind of like all over the place. But what I will say is these are all fun movies. I think 9/11 had a huge effect on the lightness of this era. I agree with you, Amy, and I think we got some wonderful, and I also think it was the start of the female-led, basically franchises that you hadn't seen necessarily before, but you saw big time during them starting big time. Women being able to carry major movies, lead female actresses, and I think that's amazing. And I didn't necessarily, I'm sure there were times before, but I feel like this era specifically, you have the Reese Witherspoons, you have the Sandra Bullocks that were basically trailblazing at the time, and we'll probably see that in our lists.
Cool. I tend to agree with you on some of those trends, and I'm curious to see how that shakes out in the final list between all four of us. But Tania, tell me a little bit about how you view this period in your life and the films you chose.
I genuinely have no reflection on any of this. Maybe it's just because my week has been crazy, and unlike normally where I'm the first one, I think, done with my list, I was curating the list even until right when Doug said action. Ryan was telling me like several hours ago, like 6 hours ago, I had like 40 HMs, and he was like, no, you got to cut that down. I just, frankly, there were definitely movies that I really like, and I think my top 3 or 4 are probably solid, but everything else is kind of like the list. Usually I feel better about my rankings, and this one I was kind of like, whatever. I guess I would probably, if I thought about it, I would echo the sentiments. These are probably lighter. I mean, I do like me a good action flick, and I do like me a good teeny bopper, or maybe slightly older. The one reflection I guess I did have as I was reviewing all the movies was maybe it's skewed a little bit older. We're now college. I was in law school, so maybe it's skewed a little bit older, but like I wouldn't say exponentially older, exponentially more mature. So I mean that is reflected in my list a bit. Maybe because we'd already gotten through all the really great teeny bopper movies by the time we hit 2000. I will say I really did struggle with trying to find the movies I liked, and one of the suggestions from, I don't remember which of you, was literally do a Wikipedia of each year. And when I did that, my list just exploded, and I had, if it was 43 today, it had to be like 60 earlier in the week when I was like slowly cutting things. So I don't know if it's just because I was in school, and so I was just watching a lot of movies. That was like an easy outlet, is just to be able to, just reading case law all the time. It's so boring, and you're just always being quizzed. So I think this may have been an outlet. So I saw so many things, and I really enjoyed. I love the movie. I still love the movie. So I also have a really high threshold for crap. So maybe that's part of it, is I just enjoy all the movies and all the crap. But I like my list. I mean, I don't think there's an Oscar winner on here, but that's not normally my jam anyway. I mean, I love Oscar movies, but this is not, those wouldn't be my nostalgic rankings.
Yeah, looking back on this for me, I was also, this was college and law school for me as well. I had free time to go to the movies a lot, but my list for the late half of the 90s was heavily weighted towards things that were innovative, things that were boundary pushing in terms of story structure and like really high concepts and stuff. And I was shocked to find that this list for the first half of the 2000s has almost none of that. There's really only one movie on this list that I think fits alongside the ones I had for the last 5 years before this. And I can only attribute that to either they just weren't making movies like that at this time. And I'm not sure why that is the case, but when I looked over my list, these are all really high. There's like a high degree of proficiency with these movies. They're all really well made. They're all well acted and well directed and everything else, but they're not, it's still like straight down the middle filmmaking. But again, not that innovative, like a lot of things that are adaptations of stuff or remakes of stuff. Like those things are starting to show up on my list in ways they weren't before. And so it was interesting to look back at this and kind of go like, oh, I guess Hollywood was kind of spoon feeding me, what they thought I wanted rather than throwing out things and going, oh, I wonder if the audience will be interested in this. It felt a lot more calculated as I went through this. So again, I love all these movies, but I don't think they are reflective of that aspect of my personality this time around. So, so before we launch into actually listing off the movies, I think it's time to go around and see if anybody has any predictions for tonight.
Well, we already did like a text message, you know, kind of, we had a few listed out there and we didn't really name them. We sort of put initials for some of them. So I think we have an idea. Probably a couple, but I think like Ryan said already, it seems like maybe rom-coms are definitely going to be a dominant presence on our list, or at least maybe 3 out of 4 lists. I didn't really think that's all.
I think we're gonna have. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Tanya. I think we're gonna have a lot of the same dramedy. I think there's going to be a lot of dramedies and comedies. I think that my number one is going to be on no one's list, and it's a total, like, it will be, if it is, I will be shocked. It's kind of like out of nowhere, and so I'm excited for that. But other than that, I think I know probably Tanya, Amy, and I will have, usually Doug and I have a lot of the same. I think it's going to be changing this. I'll be shocked if Doug and I have a lot of the same. I think this part, I'm more with the girls, I think, but who knows?
I think Amy will be surprised by my number one, but as soon as I say it, she'll be like, that makes sense. You'll see why. Other than that, I think my list, honestly, I think my top 2 are super random and nobody will have them. And same with, I think there's at least 3 or 4 on my list. 3 or 4 on my list that are like, what the fucks? Which is not unusual.
I'm excited though, because there's a ton of my honorable mentions that like I want to talk about because they're so good. So I'm hoping some of them are on your lists. And I feel like Tanya, thematically, we're probably going to be the same, but I feel like the movies that we gravitate to are going to be different.
Yeah, we have different tastes in movies, like similar but different. And I know I made sure at least one or 2 movies that I took off my HMs that Ryan did have, just so that we could, if we needed to have a quick. I actually started with the top 25 and worked from there, and still had another like 30 HMs. I have worked really hard to. It was like the 2000s alone. I think I added 12 movies when I went through that Wikipedia list.
Mm-hmm. That was such a good tip too. It wasn't me that came up with that, because I only had like 10 on my list, and you were like, I've been going through the wiki pages, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll try that. And then suddenly my list shot up.
So much harder.
But it missed like the regular standard top 20 lists just didn't have so many of these movies.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad I did that.
Just the breadth of, I think there's just a lot of movies. I don't know if it was just like this was more than normal, like if maybe like there was an explosion in movie production. But I felt like there was so much out there that it was, I really struggled. So I will acknowledge, I still have 26 movies on my HMs that we can blow through a ton of them, but I know I have a couple I wouldn't mind saying something about.
I have a couple of more specific predictions. Number one, this was the golden age for Pixar, and I think that will show up on one of the 4 lists. There will be at least 2 Pixar movies that I think are probably in contention because they were just really solid and really big, and I just know this group likes them in general. But I do have another movie that I have, once again, I'm not confident enough to say that all 4 of us have it, but if there's one movie on my list that I would bet money it could be that one. I've printed it's on my list in red instead of black, so I'm curious to see if it comes up 4 times. But I won't say what it is now. But I'm cool. Curious. I feel like like I said, if I can't guarantee it, but if I was going to bet money on one of them, it's that one. So
I've got 2 that I've just written down on my paper that we can check in on.
Could be the ones
and
that
2 different, like one's a totally different type of movie than the other. So
interesting.
We'll pop back.
Well, I know we put them on that text group, and I'm sure
I can tell you what I'm thinking of is not in that.
It's our
group.
Wordle text group. It's our Wordle thing.
Which Ryan never plays the Wordles. Do you hate us?
I know. What happened to you?
Because in the mornings I swim, and when I get it all, like I get out of the pool I swim for exercise, and I have like 60 messages, and they're all that, and then I say, okay, I'm going to do it, and then I take a shower, and I completely forget about it. So I really need to start again, because it was good for my brain.
It's good for your brain. You don't want it to deteriorate.
All right, well, I mean, I see them here, but I have no effing clue what all these initials are. At that point, I got overwhelmed. I was like, I can't deal with this.
All right, well, then I think with that, we can probably just launch right into it. So, Aim, I'll throw it out to you. We'll just go in the same alphabetic order we've been doing. So, Amy, what is your number 10?
All right, my number 10, we're going to start off with a cheat.
Already?
Because they're
classic
sort of
Amy.
Thematically, they work. I almost threw a third in there. Leave me alone. It got its own. But these, I think they're both from 2004. At least my notes indicate that. I've got The Butterfly Effect.
You know, I could give a shit whether you believe me or not. Frankly, I'm too tired to prove it to you.
Oh, there's proof now, huh?
How else would I know that you have twin moles on your inner thigh?
Anyone with $50 could tell you that.
Okay. Forget that. How about the fact that you prefer the smell of skunk to flowers? Or that you hate cilantro? Because for some reason unknown to you, it reminds you of your stepsister. Or that when you have an orgasm, your toes go numb. I'm sure all your clientele are privy to that. You know, look, I just thought you should know.
Know what?
That you were happy once. With me.
And Frequency.
Can you hear me? Dad, I need you to be there.
Yeah, Chief. I'm coming.
Listen, there's something I need to tell.
Right here, Chief. Chief?
Something happened. Something pretty bad.
What's the matter, Johnny? What is it?
Mom, something happened to her. And
Your mom, what?
she's not here.
What do you mean she's not there?
She died, but it's like it just happened, though.
She died? Your mom just died?
No, Dad. It happened a long time ago. A long time ago for me.
When?
October 22nd, 1969.
That's now, Johnny. That's next week. How? You gotta tell me how.
She was murdered.
Murdered? What are you talking about?
Listen to me. There was this case. A serial. They never caught him, but he murdered 3 women, all nurses, between 68 and 69. They call him the Nightingale.
The Nightingale? We've been watching that on the news. I was worried about that. Your mother,
Dad, we did something. Something to make it worse.
So these are both movies, like thematically. Tania's like rolling her eyes. Butterfly Effect is about like going in change. What are these faces I'm getting? You know, going back in time and changing the course of your life so that your future looks different. And Frequency kind of has like an element of that, like affecting your past. It's about a dad and his son, or a dad and his grandpa. I can't even remember.
Son,
that talk
dad
to
and
each
son.
other through like an old radio.
Ham radio.
Yeah. And it's so cool. And then they kind of work together to change like the outcome, which is just so cool and neat. And
You should mention they're not talking to each other generally. They're talking to each other across time.
yes.
That's the key.
Well, like there's like the northern lights somehow impact the radio waves to like go through time. Frequency is on my HMs, and I really thought hard about how would I get it. I have a weird crush on Jim Caviezel,
Oh, okay.
so that I like Frequency. I thought about how could I get it up there, but it just wasn't.
Yeah.
There's
I
too
know
many other things.
These movies are not winning awards. Like Butterfly Effect, my brother and I really liked it, and it was like
You always like this.
and Ashton Kutcher. I think he's like a better actor, and this like kind of showcased his better acting than he ever gets credit for. There were a couple movies. Actually, there's another one from like the early 2000s that he was in that I really enjoyed with Amanda. What's her face?
Where's my car?
Amanda Peet?
Amanda Peet is in it, and they're like friends, and they're growing, and like never mind.
Oh, at Berkeley, Amy, or wasn't Kristen? She was a
No, that was
extra
something else.
in that
was
movie.
Claire Forlani. That was that
Oh.
movie.
Okay.
But anyway, so yeah, these are both just kind of family, like they're not movies that were hits between my brother and me, so that kind of pulls the nostalgia in. And yeah, they're not winning awards or anything, but I couldn't have this list without them.
I like Frequency. I think that's a great one.
Butterfly Effect, not so much.
No, but you've always liked that one. That's definitely like on theme for Amy.
It's on brand. All right, off to Ryan.
Yep, Ryan, you're up next. What is your number 10?
My number 10, Doug and I had a long conversation about this at our. We went to a party like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and we were having a discussion. And there was I forgot her name. There was a girl there, and she had never seen this movie about a mockumentary, but a highly competitive world of dog shows, shown through the eyes of their dog owners. It is 2000's Best in Show.
She is really giving them a thorough going over. Are all judges that thorough? I mean, she looks at the teeth.
It's very important that all the attributes are examined. Teeth, eyes, ears,
Ouch.
gums.
Am I seeing right? Where's she putting her hands now?
She's just checking out the dog's testicular area to make sure that everything is intact.
Hate to go out on a date with Judge Edie Franklin, have her judge me. That'd be no fun.
Would you please take your dog down and back for me, please?
Now she's having the dogs. Why do they have them run away from them and then back up? What's the point of that? What are they looking for?
Looking for the gait and movement of the dog, and it's very important to see the small angles. So Edie will be checking out this in particular.
Good way to judge a woman. Have her run away from you and then run back. You know, those birds on Carnaby Street. Yes. I'm used to seeing them run away from me more often than run towards me.
And it was written by Eugene Levy and Christopher Guest. It is hilarious. I didn't know when I was researching it that basically they just kind of did an outline, and almost entirely the movie is improvised. There was like 16 pages long of kind of an outline of what they wanted, and Parker Posey and all of them, everything. Parker Posey got braces just to like legit braces to be part of that character. I mean, just like really cool things. But the talent to be able to improvise what they did is incredible. And Eugene Levy and Kathleen O'Hara are husband and wife, just like in Schitt's Creek. It's kind of similar. It's in the same universe as that, but if you haven't seen it, it is hilarious. It is a great movie.
On my HMs.
Yeah, last time around I had Waiting for Guffman on my HMs, which is, of course, Christopher Guest, the same basic group of people. And he does, as you said, Ryan, he does this for all of the movies. They did, going all the way back to This Is Spinal Tap, where they did it there. They did it in, was it A Mighty Wind? Like, every once in a while, they just get these guys together and say, look, you guys are all amazing character actors. And so we're just going to give you a character and kind of a rough thing that needs to happen. And we'll just turn the cameras on. And these guys are all so good that just comedy pours out of them. It's really just an impressive feat.
Yeah, my friends and I went through a fest of watching Christopher Guest movies in college.
Guest fest.
Yeah, it was a really fun fest. Yeah, enjoyed
The Guest Fest.
The Guest Fest.
I
Yeah,
would do the Guest
we
Fest.
should watch. What?
I said I just said that. Ryan's trying to steal my pun.
I didn't.
Good
hear
job,
you.
Ryan. That was a good one,
Yeah.
Ryan.
Thank you.
All right, Tanya, you're number 10.
So, speaking of Jim Caviezel, I have as my number 10 comes from 2002, The Count of Monte Cristo.
Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, my husband has been detained by business. And so, it is left up to me to
Introduce you to the Count of Monte Cristo yet again. You see, I had the audacity to beg the Count to allow me to give the birthday toast to Albert. I was so insistent, and such is the graciousness of our host, that he reluctantly gave up his fatherly right in order to accommodate a guest, even one as boorish as myself. Young Albert has made far too much of the assistance I gave him in Rome. When I arrived in the catacombs, I watched as the criminals who tied Albert to a wall threatened to cut off his finger and send it to his father as evidence of his abduction. The boy's reply to all this was, "Do your worst." Life is a storm, my young friend. You will bask in the sunlight one moment, be shattered on the rocks the next. What makes you a man is what you do when that storm comes. You must look into that storm and shout as you did in Rome. Do your worst, for I will do mine. Then the fates will know you as we know you, as Albert Mondego, the man.
I love this movie. This is, it's just a retelling of the novel, and Jim Caviezel plays, I don't remember his name
Edmond
anymore.
Dantes.
Edmond Dantes, and it's just a great one. I watched it all the time. This is really a nostalgia list. It was funny, and I know Amy always laughs because I do some crowdsourcing, or I just kind of bounce my list off of people, and I was showing Janice my list, and she's like, well, this list isn't like evokes the nostalgia of this time. I'm like, no, this is what evokes my nostalgia of this time, and I still watch this movie. I would say my whole list, which I know we sort of talked about before, is I would watch these movies, and that's why some of these movies stayed on the list higher than like HMs or other movies. I would watch Count of Monte Cristo anytime it came on. Nobody watches real TV anymore, so you don't get to just find it. But I just think it's great. There's the scene when he sort of unveils himself as the Count, and he comes down in a hot air balloon, and he gets out of the hot air balloon, and he's walking in the cape, and it all this wind blows, and he's so fancy and fun. I think it's fantastic. I really like this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. It's just a classic, it's just kind of a fun classic caper, a revenge movie. Kings to you, Edmond, and so I think it's a lot of fun.
I loved the book. I don't remember seeing the movie, but it's a great story.
I was going to say, I have not seen this adaptation. I did read the book, and it is awesome. Alexandre Dumas is a great writer, and this particular story, it's like the perfect revenge story. He's screwed over. He's thrown into prison for, on a trumped up bullshit where he rots for like 15 years until he escapes, and then assumes the disguise as the Count of Monte Cristo to slowly exact his revenge on these four assholes.
Yeah, he discovers like this giant fortune, so he's able to, enact this. It's just fantastic, and he's just patient, and he's got the priest that teaches him. He clearly is smart, but he's completely uneducated, and the priest just teaches him everything about how to live and how to be and how to act and how to think critically. And he uses all of the aspects of that teaching. I think it's a great movie, and if you haven't seen it, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's Jim Caviezel as Edmond Dantes. It's the first Albus Dumbledore in the Harry Potter
Richard
movies
Harris
is the priest, and it's Guy Pearce. Is that his name? The best friend that betrays him. So, it's a lot of fun. He's a very good villain. I think he's a really good villain. And then there's the other guy who's like the lawyer, and he's the, I can't think of his name, but, he was in one of my HMs also but we'll talk about that later.
All right, well then
Go see it. It's fun.
I'll move on to my number 10, which, this actually was a Best Picture winner during this era. And I think it is probably the last truly great movie musical, and that is Chicago.
Pop, squish, visceral, lip shits. Pop, squish, visceral, lip shits.
He had it coming. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. If you'd have been there, if you'd have seen it, I bet you would have done the same.
Pop, squish, visceral, lip shits. Squish! Cicero!
You know how people have these little habits that get you down? Like Bernie. Bernie liked to chew gum. No, not chew. Pop. So I came home this one day and I'm really irritated and I'm looking for a little bit of sympathy. And there's Bernie lying on the couch, drinking a beer and chewing. No, not chewing. Popping! So I said to him, I said, you pop that gum one more time. And he did. So I took the shotgun off the wall and I fired 2 warning shots. Into his head.
He had it coming. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. If you'd have been there, if you'd have heard it, I bet you would have done the same.
I'm a theater kid. I started doing musicals in high school, and so musical theater always meant a lot to me. And what I love about Chicago is that Bill Condon's directing is so seamless in the way he weaves in all of the musical numbers to be sort of these fantasy sequences, which should not work to do the entire movie that way. But it kind of does. Like it gives everything this really heightened, flashy reality. And God, Catherine Zeta-Jones is so awesome in it. I had no idea she could sing before this, and she's incredible. And there have been movie musicals made since this one, but to me, this is the last one that I can remember that's really like classic, that would stand alongside, West Side Story and all these other classic movie musicals. And it's just, yeah.
It has panache. I mean, it has style. It's so stylized. It's great.
It does. And I thought Renee Zellweger was really good in it, too. Mm-hmm. Same with Richard Gere. It was a really good cast. Yeah, they did a great job.
And John C. Reilly.
Yeah. What year was this?
2002.
So I have a very vivid memory of seeing this because somehow we went into the theater and there were no more seats and I had to sit in the aisle on a stair. So I have like a weirdness. I have a very vivid memory of that. But speaking of what you're saying about how he really wove those musical numbers into it, I think my favorite number in it is Richard, and maybe again because it's just a professional thing. It was like Richard Gere doing the tap dance during his legal argument in the courtroom. I think it's phenomenal. I love it so much. Sometimes when you argue, I always kind of I feel like I'm invoking his you're just tap dancing around whatever, highlighting the shit you can and just kind of ignoring the other stuff. I think it's a really fun. That's a great choice.
Razzle dazzle them, and they'll never catch wise.
You should try that your next time in front of a judge, Tanya, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, my jury outfits are a lot of razzle dazzle, and I wear fun shoes, so
okay.
they're hopefully distracted by other things. Yeah.
There you go.
All right, Aim, you're number 9.
Okay, my number 9. So this is very a specific nostalgia for being in college and watching these kind of weird movies and analyzing them with your friends. This is 2001's Donnie Darko.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How much are they paying you to be here?
Excuse me? What is your name, son?
Gerald.
Well, Gerald, I think you're afraid.
Are you telling us this stuff so we can buy your book? Because I gotta tell you, if you are, that was some of the worst advice I ever heard.
You see how sad this is?
You want your sister to lose weight? Tell her to get off the couch, stop eating Twinkies, and maybe go out for field hockey. You know what? No one ever knows what they want to be when they grow up. You know, it takes a little while to find that out, right, Jim? And you. Yeah, you. You're sick of some jerk shoving your head down the toilet. Well, you know what? Maybe you should lift some weights or take a karate lesson, and the next time he tries to do it, you kick him in the balls.
Son, do you see this? Right? This is an anger prisoner, a textbook example.
Prisoner.
Do you see the fear, people? This boy is scared to death of the truth. Son, it breaks my heart to say this, but I believe you are a very troubled and confused young man. I believe you are searching for the answers in all the wrong places.
You're right, actually. I'm pretty troubled and I'm pretty confused, but I'm afraid, really afraid. Really afraid, but I think you're fucking Antichrist.
I knew that was coming on your list.
Yeah.
I remember exactly where I watched it at my friend's. Like, we were all lying on the floor in our apartment, and we were so confused. I'm still sort of confused by the movie, but it was just one of those movies where you're analyzing it and you're talking about it and you're trying to figure out what happened, and it's really confusing. You got a hot Jake Gyllenhaal. There's parallel universes. It's like a really cool cast in addition to Jake Gyllenhaal, Patrick Swayze, and God, I can't
Drew
remember.
Barrymore. Drew Barrymore's in it, I think, and Maggie Gyllenhaal, and yeah. So, and there's one funny line, like, commitment to sparkle motion, which I quote every once in a while. Have you ever seen that movie?
Oh, yes, we've watched it together, and we've definitely said that particular line about doubting your commitment to sparkle motion many times.
But ultimately, it's like this boy goes through this like journey of like two parallel lives, and he has to like sacrifice himself in one universe to like save the world, and it's kind of confusing, doesn't really make sense, but just really like interesting. And there's some really sweet parts of the movie with his interactions with his mother, and like, I don't know, I just think it's an interesting story. We can move on.
I would just say the other thing I wanted to add about, I have this on my HMs, and I knew you would have this on your list. There is you kept mentioning several times, hey, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't quite all hang together. There is another cut of the movie where they add in a lot more that really works to like explain kind of the lore and what's actually happening and why, and it lays a lot of this stuff out. You can go find on YouTube if you want to watch like explainers that like help kind of put it all together. But here's the thing. It doesn't make the movie better. It makes it worse. Like, it's the actual theatrical cut, I think, is much better.
The questions you have and the analysis you do afterwards.
The questions are better than the answers. Yeah.
There is a commentary track that I enjoy watching with like the director, or I think Jake Gyllenhaal is on it too, and they kind of go over some of the explanations for why they're doing the things. That's really fun too, if you ever want to like dive into more of the movie. I love a good a commentary track. I don't know if you know that about me. I do.
You do like your behind the scenes stuff.
I really do.
All right, so Ryan, you're number 9.
Okay, well this actually should have won an Academy Award. It didn't, however. It was, and I'm being very sarcastic here, it was Zoe Saldana's first debut film, and it is Center Stage 2000.
No, Eric. This is about sex. I want you to feel it. Let me show you. Now you see where I am? I'm right up against her. My hips are right up against her. You got it? Yeah, I got it. Okay. Charlie, what do you think about this for the end of the pas de trois? Can I see that? Sure. I changed it a little. Could work. That could work too. How about like that? Why don't you just try this? Could work on it. You do that. Moving on.
Nice.
Yeah, about a dozen adolescents begin their training in a ballet school where they encounter tremendous stress to get a spot in the dance company, and it's a kind of a teeny bopper movie with ballet, and a lot of the people were actual real ballet dancers, but it's a cool story. New York City was kind of another character, and at that point I loved New York, and it was just a fun movie. It was like an easy watch, and I loved it.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, it's on my HMs, and I didn't know that was her first movie, but I love there's this scene where I guess she gets kicked out of the classroom, or she walks out and she's smoking her cigarette, and she puts it out with her point shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like she just whatever she does. I love that. I think it's so cute. And the end dance, not her dance, but the Amanda girls dance or whatever her name is perfect. I love it.
To the Michael Jackson song was
to the Michael Jackson
amazing.
song.
Yes. The way you make me feel.
Mm-hmm.
You make me
Was
feel.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't speak to this movie. I have not seen. This is like a genre of movie that I tend to not gravitate towards. But there was a huge run of these in the 2000s. You had this one, then you had like Save the Last Dance, and then like there was Step Up or whatever. Like there was a bunch of these, and then it was just like, yo, I've got an artistic pursuit, and it's serious. They're stomping the yard. Like there were just a bunch of movies that were like this kind of a thing, and it was a great like showcase because we weren't getting, like I said, after Chicago, there's not a whole lot of movie musicals, but we do get these. Like these are like cool, like almost throwbacks to something like Flashdance, where they're gonna get someone out there to do these huge, awesome dance numbers. So I can't argue with the choice. So that brings us.
I'm cracking up. Sorry, I just want to say I'm cracking up because I definitely would never have thought this was on Ryan's list.
Out of all of us,
Just,
I know. And
it's on my HMs. It's not even on my top 10. Like I feel like I'm the teeny bopper one here, and that cracks me up. But now I really see where you're going when you said I'm going to line up with the girls more this time.
Well, I think I saw this I just saw this, and I'm thinking that I saw it on a plane. You know how they have like 20,000 movies now on the plane, and you can like pick where, and they have older movies, and I watched this, and it was fresh in my mind, so I think that's probably why. If you would ask me a year from now, it probably would not be on my list, but it's one that I could watch, again and again.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tania, you're number 9.
My number 9 is from 2004. This is a great family movie. You can watch it over and over again. I guess I would have been in law school at this point. It's just an adventure. I feel like it's sort of a modern Indiana Jones. This is National Treasure.
Of course it is.
Looks like animal skin. How old is it?
At least 200 years.
Really? Sure?
Pretty darn.
Now, if this thing's an invisible ink, how do we look at it?
Throw it in the oven.
No.
Ferrous sulfate inks can only be brought out with heat.
Yes, but
It's very old. This is very old, and we can't risk compromising the map.
You need a reagent.
Dad, it's really late. Why don't you get some rest?
I'm fine.
Lemons.
You can't do that.
But it has to be done.
And someone who's trained to handle antique documents is gonna do it.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if there is a secret message, it'll probably be marked by a symbol in the upper right-hand corner.
That's right.
I'm so getting fired for this.
It's very much a Tanya movie.
It's such a Tanya movie.
Yeah.
Is this
No,
the
it's
one
just fun.
with what's his face? Noah Wiley?
That's the librarian.
No, that's the librarian, which is exactly
The same
it's
movie.
The TV version. Yeah.
Okay,
it's
sorry,
the TV
go on.
version of National Treasure. But yes, no, it's great. Nicolas Cage is fantastic. The kid who was once the boyfriend of one of the Olsen sisters is like the nerdy sidekick. And then you have, oh God, what's his name? That's like he plays like the FBI agent.
You talking about John Voight?
No. Oh, he's the dad. He's like the gruff dad. But no, he's like the FBI agent. Now I need to find his name. Harvey Keitel, who's like sort of this like, he seems like a hard ass, whatever, but he's also like just seems to be like trying to, kind of like what we were talking about in The Fugitive, one of those times where the U.S. Marshal is just trying to follow the evidence. Like he's trying to do what's right, and he knows someone stole the Declaration of Independence, but he's also like, he understands the greater good, if you will. So I think it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of heart. It's very funny. It's great production value. We were just in Philadelphia, my family, and so we got to see we got to go to the Declaration of Independence, or to Independence Hall, the Liberty Bell, all this stuff. So it was a lot of fun because I was kind of showing the boys a little bit like, National Treasure stuff. So it was a lot of fun.
All right. Moving on.
Okay. I feel like it's got to be on other people's list higher up if no one's going to talk about it right now.
That's not happening.
That just goes to the caliber of what's coming up higher in my list. F you then, Amy.
All right. My number 9. So there is one really prominent horror movie from this period. I did not pick that one. I picked a different one because I think this one holds together a little better in the long run, and it's still very ethereal. There's a nice twist at the end, and I know Amy loves this one. It is The Others.
What did I tell you about sitting on the floor?
But it's clean.
It makes no difference. Why can't you ever do as you're told?
What's the matter?
Where is my daughter? What have you done with my daughter?
Are you mad? I am your daughter.
No! You're not my daughter! No! You're not my daughter! No! 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 Mom, I heard shots.
She wants to kill me. She won't stop until she kills us. She won't stop. She won't stop until she kills us.
Come with me. Come with me.
You're wicked. You're wicked, wicked.
Oh, Tanya thought
like
this
that?
one was going to be on my list.
I thought it would be. I know you love this one,
We'll
and
see.
it's just a great ghost story in a way that's like you just don't get like a good solid ghost story like this anymore. And it is very it's effective. It doesn't have a lot of like ridiculous jump scares and things. It's just kind of this melancholy tale of this family that is trapped in their house. And I guess I won't reveal what the twist is to it, but it's sort of loosely inspired by Henry James's Turn of the Screw. But you're watching this family kind of come to grips with the fact that there is this presence in the house that they can't seem to be able to escape from or do anything about. But I just love the tone of it. I think the tone of it is so successful. And Nicole Kidman always gives a great performance, and she's great here. And yeah, it's just a really, she plays this mother she's very stern but very protective, and you sort of see how that they put a bunch of neat twists of that as the movie kind of goes through of like, well, wait, did she do something awful? Is she, why is she like this? It's really, I think it's a really well told tale, and nobody has anything to say about The Others.
I like a good twist. It is like a classic. It's a classic ghost story, like you just said. There's not a lot to it. I mean, the twist is kind of the fun part, but. Yeah.
It's just, like I said, it's just a vibe, and I think the vibe of this is good. Like I said, there is the other horror movie I'm thinking of maybe on your lists. I put it on my honorable mentions, but I think this is a slightly more cohesive, stronger film than that one, even though that one is probably the one people would go to more. So, all right, Aim, you're number 8.
All right, my number 8. This could also be construed as a horror story. Maybe not. The horror is the humans. I'm talking about 2001's Monsters, Inc.
Here we go. Take care of yourself. Try not to run through any more closets. Mike, that's not her door.
What are you talking about? Of course it's her door. It's her door.
No, her door was white.
No.
And it had flowers on it.
No. It must have been dark last night, because this is its door. Hey, you hear that? Sounds like fun in there. Okay, send me a postcard, kid. That's Mike Wazowski, care of 22. Mike Wazowski, you got your life back lane.
Wazowski.
Very good. Now, bon voyage. Bye-bye. Come on. Look at the stick. See the stick? Go. Get the stick. Go fetch.
Mike, this isn't Boo's door.
Boo? What's Boo?
That's what I decided to call her. Is there a problem?
Sully, you're not supposed to name it. Once you name it, you start getting attached to it. Now put that thing back where it came from, or so help me! Oh, hey! We're rehearsing a scene for the upcoming company play called Put That Thing Back Where It Came From, or So Help Me. It's a musical. Yeah, put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. So help me, so help me. And cut. We're still working on it. It's a work in progress, but...
I knew it.
That's a great pick. I love that movie. Oh, that's a good movie.
I think this is...
Love
Is
it.
this the
Cute.
first Pixar? No, it's not the first Pixar.
It's the fourth Pixar
But I
movie.
think it's the most clever one. I mean, I just think it's so cool, like the imagery of the doors. And if you don't know the movie, it's about like a city of monsters that is fueled by the screams of children, like the monsters scare the kids scream, and then the screams power the monster city. So I just think it's such a cool premise. It's really funny. The outtake scene is like one of my favorite. Like, I was going through a really bad time, and I went to my friend's house and watched this, and I laughed my ass off at those outtakes. It was so funny.
It was like an Oscar.
Oh yeah, it's my 2000s Oscar. No, I don't really equate it to that, but I mean, yeah, just really fun, and it holds up. It's good as an adult. It's good as a kid.
I think it's one of the best Pixar movies. I mean, it's a great franchise. It's great. It's a wonderful movie.
Totally great. It's a lot of fun. But just going back to what you're saying, Amy, about like the outtakes, it's funny because like it's not just like organic outtakes. You have to clearly create these scenes that are hilarious. I mean, maybe they are born from like recording sessions that kind of go wrong, but it doesn't seem like that. I don't know what it is, but it's not just, you're not just getting funny, scenes that got messed up. You're watching these, like, they purposely create something, and it's just so clever what they are doing, and I think it's just so thoughtful. It's just indicative of how Pixar is just eternally thoughtful. I think this is a great one. I think that's a lot of fun. It's not on my list. I don't even think it's on my HMs, but it's, I think it's great. And the doors that you were talking about, it's just like that scene, especially when you go to the doors and like the whole warehouse and everything. Mm-hmm. I kind of imagine that's what like going to a dry cleaner is like with all that, but it's beautiful. You're engaged, you're sucked in. It's like a roller coaster or something. And it's just it is very cool to think about what all these doors are doing and what the hidden world behind each one. I think it's super special.
And the voice acting too, like the chemistry between John Goodman and Billy Crystal is absolutely wonderful. Yeah, it drives the whole thing. And like I remember there was a Halloween. Celeste must have been 2 or 3, where we did the thing. I went as Sully, right. Amy was Mike, and she was Boo. But like when they disguise her, they rip up a couch and put like her to make her look like a monster. So Celeste wore that, and we went out trick or treating with that, and it. Yeah, just a favorite Halloween memory. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Cool. Ryan, you're number 8.
Okay, well, my number 8 is going to be the only semi-Ryan 1990s pick. Okay. It is about the 1992 Somali war between Mohammed Farah Hadid and U.S. peacekeepers. It is 2001's Black Hawk Down.
Sergeant Pillar's hit! Christ is fucked up! Is anyone hit? Strucker, talk to me! It's Sergeant Pillar! What's his status? What's his status? He's dead! He's dead! Pillar's dead, sir! C2, this is McKnight. We have a KIA, Dominic Pillar. Over. Roger that. Get on that 50! Someone get on that 50! Come on!
directed by Ridley Scott. It's just it's so inaccurate. Like, it's very loosely based on that conflict. But it's a fun movie. When I say fun, it's a cool action movie. And I mean, of course, a Black Hawk helicopter did crash in Mogadishu, and there was a lot that was true, but still, there was a lot of poetic license taken. But I just thought it's one of those movies that can come on that I'm going to watch over and over again. I really like it, and yeah, so I don't know if anybody else has seen it, but I really like it.
I've seen it. It is intense, but it is extreme. I mean, it's Ridley Scott. The man knows how to create a striking visual image. And yeah, it's like once that helicopter crashes, and it's just like, how are we going to get these guys out of this pickle? And like, it just never lets up. That's the entire movie. It's really, really intense.
And you almost feel like you're part of that crew trying to get back to the U.S. military base, and like, you're trying to avoid all of these rebels that are shooting at you, and it's cool. It's a fun movie. It's action packed, and you're at the edge of your seat for most of the movie. At least I was.
Ryan, is this the one where they're flying over, I guess, Mogadishu, and there's like the towers of tires that they put on fire?
Yes.
To like signal something?
Yes.
That's what that's the only real thing I remember visually from the movie.
Yes, yeah. And they did that because that was to tell all the rebels to come in to Mogadishu, and because the Americans were flying over. So they used to burn tires to kind of signal everyone. I remember it being
like a signal of some kind, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tanya, your number 8.
Number 8 is totally not on Ryan's serious war wavelength, but it is action in its own right, and it is the father of quite the franchise as well. One of my favorite franchises of all time. This is from 2001, The Fast and the Furious.
Yo, dog. Hey, man, we were just about to go looking for you, brother.
Where were you?
There were masked cops here. They came in from every direction. That shit was orchestrated.
This your beer?
Yeah, that's my beer.
Yo, Einstein, take it upstairs. You can't detail a car with the cover on. Get that right.
You all right?
Am I all right?
It was just a question.
Yo, Dom, why'd you bring the Buster here?
'Cause the Buster kept me out of handcuffs. He didn't just run back to the fort. The Buster brought me back. You can have any brew you want, as long as it's a Corona.
Thanks, man.
That's Vinci, so enjoy it.
Ooh.
So it's got hot cars, hot men, hot girls. You know, my husband and I, we both just say, I think to each other way too often, well, I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Like, it's just one of those things that's so silly. It's not the best of the franchise, but that would come in a later podcast when we did more. But it is, again, it's the father of the franchise. You get, you get to meet Dom, who's it's all about family, and Brian, who's the
I guess at this point, Paul Walker.
Yeah, R.I.P. But he's is he LAPD at this time? I think at some point he becomes FBI, but he's kind of like an up and coming. He's like trying to go on a sting, and it's all these like race cars that are like stealing things, but he gets enchanted by this family and doesn't believe it's kind of Point Break with cars. I never really thought about that, but wow, did I just make a connection in my own head, and I clearly have a type. It's I mean, hopefully I never have a breakup again, but for some reason I had started like a thing when like I would have like a breakup or something weird with boys. I would just have like, I would go on like a binge of watching Fast and the Furious movies. And so I just, actually, my boys, we were in a hotel for a couple days, and we were watching part of this movie on TV. And so yesterday the boys were like, can we watch the car crash movie again? Just because it's so much fun. And I mean, like, yeah, there's kind of bad words, but they're just like enchanted by the visual. It's a lot of fun. It's just a silly popcorn movie. It's great.
Well, your boys love they used to love the trucks, those action truck things at Anaheim Stadium, the monster trucks.
Monster
truck. Yeah, Monster Jam. Yeah. So I feel like it's gonna be the same universe.
I will just point out, when we did the 90s podcast and you ranked Point Break as your number one from that era, I said at that time, oh, this is basically the Fast and the Furious before there was the Fast and the Furious. And like,
that's hilarious.
It's like they are so of a piece with each other. And especially as the franchise went on and got crazier and crazier, they just kind of doubled down on that. But even in this first one, like, it's just, this is the beginning of like Vin Diesel action hero. And it's just a fun ride.
But when you said that, I don't remember you saying that. That totally sounds exactly like what you would say. You just you heard me have an epiphany as I'm saying this, like just the whole giving the narrative. I am shocked at myself for not recognizing that earlier. I clearly have a type. Wow.
Amy, any thoughts on the Fast and the Furious before we proceed?
Absolutely none.
Okay. All right, I'll go to my number 8. This is a big crowd pleaser. It is a remake, and it's got a stacked cast, and it's, I mean, by leaps and bounds, the best heist movie ever made, Ocean's 11.
The vault at the Bellagio.
Oof. Well, if I'm reading this right, and I'd like to think that I am, this is probably the least accessible vault ever designed.
Yep.
You said 3 casinos?
These feed into the cages at the Mirage, the MGM Grand, but every dime ends up there.
The Bellagio, the Mirage. These are Terry Benedict's places.
Yes, they are. You think you'll mind?
More than somewhat. You'd need at least a dozen guys doing a combination of cons.
What do you think?
Well, off the top of my head, I'd say you're looking at a Boski, a Jim Brown, a Miss Daisy, 2 Jethros, and Leon Spinks. Not to mention the biggest Ella Fitzgerald ever. Do you think you're gonna get the money to back this?
If we're hitting these 3 casinos, we'll get our bankroll. Benedict's got a long list of enemies.
Yeah, but enemies with loose cash and nothing to lose. Ruben.
Hey. Jesus. Oscar, lower it a bit, would you?
Sorry. You guys done up here? Found what you want?
I'm just gonna take these home for the night and make some copies if it's all right.
Whatever you need.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Steven Soderbergh's directing here it's absolutely on point. It's stylish and cool at every turn, which it's hard to outcool Frank Sinatra, but mission accomplished. You bring in George Clooney and Brad Pitt, who are the coolest, most handsome dudes in the world, and let them just, kind of crackle off each other with dialogue. They're so good. But even all the side characters, Elliot Gould and Carl Reiner and some of these other guys that they bring in, it's just, it's flawless. And as a heist movie, it's just a clockwork machine from beginning to end. All the little twists and turns, the way they've pulled the wool over your eyes by the end.
Mm-hmm.
What more can I say about this? This is one of the most relentlessly entertaining movies, in terms of that category of like, oh, if it's on TV, will I sit and watch the rest of it? Of course I will,
100.
every time.
They are just clearly having so much fun. I mean, it is just so apparent that they are just enjoying the fuck out of themselves.
And Brad Pitt somehow did not put on 70 pounds. He's eating in every shot of the movie.
Yeah.
They made that a thing that, like, watch it. He does not stop eating at any point. Even when, like, there's continuity errors. At one point, he's, like, holding, like, one kind of food, and then, like, there's a cut, and he's holding a thing of, like, cocktail shrimp. Like, he's just eating constantly. It's just this weird running gag throughout the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I mean, it is such a. I mean, and you got an all-star cast. You also have Matt Damon, Julia Roberts, Bernie Mac, Andy Garcia. I mean, it's just like talk about an all-star cast, and it's so and Las Vegas plays such a huge role in it too. And used to live in Las Vegas, and it's one of my favorite cities in the world, so it even makes it even better.
It also, they have this, like, fun vernacular, like, all the thieving vernacular, like, all the cons they play, and sometimes you can figure out, like, from, once you see the cons as they're, like, enacting them, like, you get what a Susan B. Anthony is, kind of, there's certain things you can kind of figure out, and other ones you're just like, I don't know what the hell this is, but it's a lot of fun that they've just, I don't know if they've created this, I don't know if this is something where they've studied with actual con men or whatever, but I think that's one of my favorite things, is that they just really went into it, and I think that, you know, the latter sequels are a lot of fun. They're not as good, but they're great. I mean, I really like them.
Yeah, me too.
But they're just, they clearly have fun, which is why they do, you know, they do these and bring in, you know, they get kind of bigger and bigger. My parents were actually in Europe, in Amsterdam, when they were filming the Amsterdam parts of Ocean's 12, and they were staying at the same hotel as a bunch of the cast, which was really fun.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Fun.
All right, Aim. Number 7.
All right. So my number 7, I just did a little bit of switchery. Because my number 7 was Ocean's 11, but we just talked about it. So let's add something else to the list to make things a little bit more interesting. Because I doubt this movie is on anyone else's list. What year is it? So it's from 2000, starring Ben Stiller and Edward Norton. It's Keeping the Faith.
Bereshit, bara, bara, Elohim, Elohim, and ha'aretz, v'ha'aretz, v'ayta.
Okay. It's okay. Take a break.
I suck. They're gonna take away my yarmulke.
No. You don't suck.
I suck.
Okay. Yes, you do. You suck. But that's okay. You're supposed to suck. This isn't a talent contest. This is a rite of passage. I mean, happens in all cultures. It's about you being 13 years old. God knew that your voice was going to change when you're 13. There's a reason why you got to do your Haftorah at this age. It's a challenge. God is challenging you. He's calling you a chump. So you got to come back at him. You got to say, hey, Hashem, you think you can scare me with a little biblical Hebrew just because my balls haven't dropped yet? I'm serious. You got to show him what Alan Klein's made of.
How?
By sucking with style. Embrace the suckiness. Just say, I love that I suck.
I love that I suck.
Good, but own it. Say it. I love that I suck.
I love that I suck. I love that I suck.
Good. You play.
I love that I suck.
Keep going with that.
I love that I suck.
Okay, good. I'll
Which
see you
is
next week.
a movie about a priest and a rabbi and the girl that they fall in love with. And I don't have a ton to say about it, but it is so cute.
Oh, yeah, I remember it. Yeah, it is a very good movie.
I can't remember her name.
Jenna Elfman.
Jenna Elfman was so, like, cute and charming. I just remember, like, loving her outfits and looking up to her as a businesswoman and being like, oh, one day I'll get to wear, like, business clothes. Like, I don't know why this sticks out to me. But,
yeah.
That's Dharma and Greg, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
She didn't really do much after this. But I believe... I think Edward Norton might have written it, and Ben Stiller might have directed it. I should have researched this more. I didn't know I'd be talking about it. Anyways.
It's on my honorable mentions, or did I take it off? I might have taken it off only because I had too many. I think it's one of those, I remember walking out of it. I don't remember much about it, but I remember walking out of the theater being like, this was such a good, fun movie. It was just, like, made you feel good. Like, love the, like... The whole story about, like, the priest and the rabbi, they're best friends, and, like, they're like trying to make, like, the community center. They're kind of these, like, hip, cool guys. Like, there's a scene where they're, like, walking down the street, like, in their glasses, being all cute. No, I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's just like it's one of those, like, feel good, fun movies. And it did come off of my HMs only because there was way too many, and I was getting yelled at. So, fantastic choice.
Yeah, lots of fun.
I think this might be a cheat because of how you've, like, restructured, but I like it a lot.
Whatever.
There's just too many movies.
It's a last-minute audible. It's not a
Who
cheat.
cares? Who's judging us?
Yeah.
What difference does it make?
I guess I am.
All right. Ryan, you're number 7.
Well, since we're talking about cheating, and since Amy does it all the time, and Tanya's done it before, I'm going to pull an Amy Lief here. My number 7 is 2 movies, and they are so identical in my opinion that they're perfect. One is 2000's Miss Congeniality,
New Jersey. As you may know, there are many who consider the Miss United States pageant to be outdated and anti-feminist. What would you say to them?
Oh my God. Well, I would have to say I used to be one of them. And then I came here and I realized that these women are smart, terrific people who are just trying to make a difference in the world. And we've become really good friends. I mean, I know we all secretly hope the other one will trip and fall on her face, but... Oh, wait a minute. I've already done that. And for me, this experience has been one of the most rewarding and liberating experiences of my life.
My God. I did it.
And if anyone tries to hurt one of my new friends, I would take them out. I would make them suffer so much that they'd wish they were never born. And if they ran, I would hunt them down. Thank you, Kathy.
And the second one is 2001 Legally Blonde.
Chetney, why is it that Tracy Marcinko's curls were ruined when she got hosed down?
Because they got wet?
Exactly. Because isn't it the first cardinal rule of perm maintenance that you're forbidden to wet your hair for at least 24 hours after getting a perm, at the risk of deactivating the ammonium thioglycolate?
Yes.
And wouldn't somebody who's had, say, 30 perms before in their life be well aware of this rule? And if, in fact, you weren't washing your hair, as I suspect you weren't because your curls are still intact, wouldn't you have heard the gunshot? And if, in fact, you had heard the gunshot, Brooke Wyndham wouldn't have had time to hide the gun before you got downstairs, which would mean that you would have had to have found Mrs. Wyndham with a gun in her hand to make your story plausible. Isn't that right?
She's my age. Did she tell you that? How would you feel if your father married someone who was your age?
You, however, had time to hide the gun, didn't you, Chetney? After you shot your father.
I didn't mean to shoot him. I thought it was you walking through the door.
Order, order. Order.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Bailiff, take the witness into custody where she will be charged for the murder of Hayworth Wyndham. In the matter of the state versus Brooke Wyndham, this case is dismissed. Mrs. Wyndham, you're free to go.
They're both female. They both were pretty much starting a franchise. They're hilarious. They are, like, the acting's fun. It's just they're both such fun movies. I mean, I don't really know. Sandra Bullock and Reese Witherspoon light up the screen. I think, the supporting cast is great. Miss Congeniality is about an FBI agent who goes undercover to a beauty pageant when a terrorist threat. Yeah. And Legally Blonde is, everybody knows Legally Blonde. So, but I mean, they're just such fun movies. Are either one of them, like, I don't know, maybe they did win Academy Awards, who knows, but the both women have gone on to win Academy Awards, Sandra Bullock and Reese Witherspoon. But I feel like both these movies kind of put them on the map. And what's cool is they were huge mega hits, and they were both led by women. I thought that was really cool. They didn't need a big male celebrity name to, the studio made them without having a huge, male name, and a lot of times that wasn't the case.
Especially
before.
back in the time, yeah. 20 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I have this fun, I guess, in terms of nostalgia, since that's what this podcast is. I remember in law school and then taking the bar, they would always tell you in bar review, you're working so hard. You need to take time with your partner or whatever, with your friends. And what you should really do is go watch Legally Blonde, So you can identify all the things they're doing wrong. And so they're watching a movie and thinking you're having a good time. You're still doing homework and still studying because you can do nothing else for 3 months but study, which I really thought was really funny. So that's kind of my funny nostalgic memory of that. I believe Legally Blonde is on my HMs, but she wears really fun suits.
I totally forgot about Miss Congeniality. I love that movie. I haven't seen it in so long, so I don't really have a lot to say about it, but we should rewatch that. I remember really enjoying, and I'm not really a Sandra Bullock fan, which might get some boos from the audience and my
You're gonna get a boo from me.
I know, but I really enjoyed her in that role.
Mm-hmm.
She's funny. She's funny.
Really?
She's allowed to just kind of really be silly, I think is the right word, but like she's taking herself. I really like it. Yeah, she's a lot of fun. And I like
Benjamin
Bratt.
No, I was gonna say Michael Caine. I think he's a lot of fun.
Oh, he's like the coach, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
fine.
Jennifer Tilly is in, not Jennifer Tilly, sorry. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on her name? Coolidge, Jennifer Coolidge is in, I think she's great in Legally Blonde.
Oh, and Legally Blonde.
She's the nail lady.
Because Candice Bergen is in Miss Congeniality, and she's a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Taking the dog.
Did you know Christina Applegate was actually offered Legally Blonde, but she didn't want to play it because she didn't want to be typecast as the dumb blonde? But that would have been.
Oh, that's fun.
I bet she regrets that now. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't.
She's dealing with her own things right now.
Yeah.
Her
I know, but that's
podcast
a pretty...
is really good, by the way. Christina Applegate.
Well, I love Christina Applegate. I think she would have done great in that movie too.
Oh, she would have. There's no question. I mean, she's got a ton of comedic talent. But I actually think Reese Witherspoon's probably the better choice, if nothing else, because she's a lot younger than Christina Applegate and has to play, someone who's in like law school. But
yes, yeah,
but yeah, as you said, female-led comedies that probably, or at least might not have existed in the 90s or the 80s.
Right.
So yeah, great choices both. All right, so that goes to Tanya. You're number 8 or 7. Sorry.
7. Okay, so I've got myself an Amy cheat. This. I really liked Ryan's only because he really found a great thematic through line. My connection's a little more tenuous, but it's there. These are both movies that are, I think, very classically British. They're female-driven as well. So the first one is 2001's Bridget Jones's Diary.
Bridget, come on, it is. I mean, I know it's been awkward as arse, but there's no need to leave.
No, actually there is. I've been offered a job in television.
Television?
And they want me to start straight away. So I've got to leave in about, 3 minutes. So,
Well, just hold it right there, Miss Jones. I'm sorry to inform you, but I think you'll find that by contract you're expected to give at least 6 weeks' notice.
yes, well, I thought with the company being in so much trouble and all, you wouldn't really miss the person who waltzes in a see-through top and fannies about with the press releases.
Bridget?
I want to hear this. Because if she gives 1 inch, I'm going to fire her bony little bottom anyway for being totally spineless. What?
Well, I just think you should know that, there are lots of prospects here for a talented
Daniel,
person. Yeah, just give me a minute, will you, Simon? Thanks.
Right-ho, boss man.
Lots of prospects for a person who, perhaps for personal reasons has been slightly overlooked professionally.
Thank you, Daniel. That is very good to know. But if staying here means working within 10 yards of you, frankly, I'd rather have a job wiping Saddam Hussein's arse.
Which is just so much fun. I love it so much. I remember seeing it, but more in particular, I remember I was in England with Janice. It must have been our first time we went there. I was a junior in college, and we were on the bus driving to Bath, which is it's like where they film Bridgerton, and it's probably like 2 hours away from London. And I was reading the Bridget Jones Diary book, and Janice got so mad at me because I just ignored her for like 2 hours and read the book while she just sat there being like, what the fuck? Why can't you just talk to me? It's just a lot of fun. It's got, all these fun British neuroses, and it's just classically British. It's just got a lot of like British culture, and which I think makes it fun. I like to think I'm kind of an Anglophile. I really enjoy British culture, but this is it's a lot of fun. My second one is Bend It Like Beckham.
How do you know she's serious?
Please watch her.
I
Where do you normally play?
In the park.
I mean, what position?
Oh, sorry, I usually play all over, but up front, on the right is best.
Get your boots on.
I haven't got any.
Right, join in, start warming up. How'd it feel out there?
Brilliant, really, really great.
I've never seen an Indian girl into football.
I didn't even know they had a girls' team here.
It's all her fault. I used to play for the men's club, and she used to hang around here whining that there was no team for her to play on.
Also very fun.
I
a different
love that
aspect
movie.
of British, I think, of Britishness, but it's a lot of fun. It's, you know, you've got the immigrant family who came, you know, to the UK for a better life, but also are unwilling to sort of, I think, relinquish some of their more traditional ideals, or I'm not sure exactly what values and
cultural
values.
Yeah, it's cultural.
And so, you know, the daughter who, you know, is very good at soccer, and she's kind of recruited by like a private team, and that push and pull with the family, and she's, you know, I think she's pulling away from her family in a way. It's also got so much beautiful, I think, display of Indian culture, and you see like the wedding and all these different things, and so I really like that. And it's unapologetically British, and, you know, I really like it a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. So those are my tie.
Bend It Like Beckham was on my top 10 list until about, like, I don't know, 3 hours ago, and I pulled it off. I love that movie. It's
nice.
It's very, very cute, and yeah, I totally. And the only thing I have to say about Bridget Jones's Diary, you would have thought that they would have used a British actress, wouldn't you have? Like, Renee Zellweger.
Yeah, there's definitely.
I'm kind of surprised that they didn't use, like, I don't know, Emma Thompson.
Yeah.
She'd have been too old,
like
probably.
That. Well, I'm sure there's somebody younger than Emma Thompson. Yeah, Kate Beckinsale would have been good.
Here's my nostalgia memory for Bridget Jones's Diary. I remember after either reading it or seeing the movie, because I used to write in a diary, and like kind of writing it in the style of her, like just talking about like what I was eating or something, like something I would have never really write about, but like
That's
kind
funny.
of interpreting it into my own language. So that was fun. They're both, or Bend It Like Beckham came off my honorable mentions. I don't know why, but Bridget Jones is definitely on there. Good fun pick.
All right. My number 7, this is also a female-led movie, a female-written movie, all about females, and that is Mean Girls.
Because you got everybody there. You got your freshmen, ROTC guys, preps, JV jocks, Asian nerds, cool Asians, varsity jocks, unfriendly black hotties, girls who eat their feelings, girls who don't eat anything, desperate wannabes, burnouts, sexually active band geeks, the greatest people you will ever meet, and the worst. Beware of the plastic.
Hey, we're doing a lunchtime survey of new students. Can you answer a few questions?
Okay.
Is your muffin buttered?
What?
Would you like us to assign someone to butter your muffin?
My what?
Is he bothering you? Jason, why are you such a skis?
I'm just being friendly.
You were supposed to call me last night.
Jason, you do not come to a party at my house with Gretchen and then scam on some poor innocent girl right in front of us 3 days later. She's not interested. Do you want to have sex with him?
No, thank you.
Good. So it's settled. So you can go shave your back now. Bye, Jason.
I love.
I love how this is very well directed in terms of not just I think the story is great, but the way that Tina Fey tells it. I think the characters are really fun. It's got that certain like Tina Fey heightened reality to it that like they kind of pushed even further into things like 30 Rock and Kimmy Schmidt, like where she kind of became, all of her stuff became live action Simpsons. This isn't quite that, but it is, you know, it deals with such a like awful, like horrible period of high school that we all kind of go through, and having it be through the lens of essentially a, you know, the neophyte that Lindsay Lohan plays, you know, being this wide-eyed stranger in a strange land, that gives them license to do all of this stuff. And again, a stacked cast of people who would go on to big stuff. Rachel McAdams and Amanda Seyfried, you know, everybody, what's her face? Lizzie Kaplan.
Mm-hmm.
Just a really solid movie. Celeste likes this one, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it also has a lot of heart on top of all that satire. And, and some love to Tim Meadows as well, who is just the glue in any comedy. He's so good. So, Mean Girls.
So good, so quotable. Maybe have more to say about it a little bit later. But
let's see if we can make fetch happen.
Yeah,
such
exactly.
a great choice.
And they've had musicals. Now there's a Mean Girls 2, which I have not seen, but I heard it's not as good. But I mean, it was basically the movie for. I can remember being in my fraternity house and watching this movie. It was very, yeah. It was.
Oh,
it
wow.
Was we really liked this movie. Yeah.
All right. Amy, that takes you to your number 6.
Okay, my number 6, and I have a prediction that this one is going to be on Tanya's list somewhere. It's a movie about faith. It's a movie about aliens. It is 2002's Signs.
What's the matter with everyone? Eat.
Maybe we should say a prayer.
No.
Why not?
We're not saying a prayer.
Bo has a bad feeling. I had a dream.
We aren't saying a prayer. Eat.
I hate you.
That's fine.
You let Mom die.
Morgan. I am not wasting one more minute of my life on prayer. Not one more minute. Understood? Now, we are going to enjoy this meal. No one can stop us from enjoying this meal, so enjoy it! Stop crying!
Don't yell at her!
All right. Since you're all not going to eat, I'm going to try some of everything.
I loved this movie. It's a movie about things happen for a reason. And I remember the first time I watched this movie getting chills at all the ways that things lined up at the end of the movie. Like there was a reason for the way that these people were. It has Mel Gibson, but we'll forgive that. It's just really funny, smart, well written movie. It's the follow, M. Night Shyamalan wrote this after
Unbreakable.
Sixth Sense.
Oh yeah. Well, it was
Unbreakable comes first.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I thought this was a good.
But no one thinks about that.
No one thinks about that.
No, Unbreakable is a good movie too. It's not on my list, but it is a solid movie.
But it's not
Yeah. So
I
think I thought you were going to be talking about this when you said something about horror movies a little while ago.
Not the one I was thinking of.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I also liked The Village, but not nearly as much as I liked this one.
I think we talked about both of these on our 90s podcast.
When we talked about The Sixth Sense, this came up a bunch.
Sense,
yeah, you guys talked about how much you loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one nostalgic memory which relates to the movie. I mean, it's a fine movie, but my nostalgic memory is of just, I think this is relatively early on in our relationship when we were dating, but you used to leave, you drink 7/8 of a glass of water, and then you just leave it somewhere, and I would find like all like so. It was
water bottles.
It was a water bottle?
Yeah,
That's
it
what
wasn't
was.
cups of
okay.
water.
But yeah, I'd find like, you would drink 7/8 of it and leave that last eighth
Yeah,
just
well, you
sitting
never know.
there.
You might need to kill the aliens with it. So,
Right.
you know.
But I remember this movie coming up a lot in that discussion. Like, why am I finding water bottles everywhere?
That's funny. My nostalgia about this movie is I was in college and I was at a summer program in DC with Janice and another good friend of mine, Julia, who we met there, and we went to the movies and saw this and just super enjoyed this. I remember walking out because I'm also not good at jump scares. I mean, I think I've said this a few times. Like, I'm trying to take back scary movies in my 40s, but it's. I was definitely nervous walking in, and I was still nervous when I left. Like, I scared, but because there was like at least one distinct jump scare. When the alien walks into the frame in the Brazil video. But it was, very much worth it.
All right. Okay, so that give Ryan, you're number 6.
Okay, so Tanya and Amy know that I am a sucker for an old lady movie. My favorite actress is Diane Keaton. And so I could not go a list without 2003's Something's Gotta Give.
You know what? I hate to eat grud, but...
Oh, wait. No. Come on. This is really fascinating what's going on at this table.
Zoe teaches women's studies at Columbia.
Okay, so this is gonna hurt.
No. Look, let's take you and Erica, for example. Zoe. Here, you've been around the block a few times, am I right? What are you, around 60? 63. Oh, fantastic. Never married, which, as we know, if you were a woman, would be a curse. You'd be an old maid, a spinster, blah, blah, blah. So instead of pitying you, they write articles about you. Celebrate your never marrying. You're elusive and ungettable, a real catch. Then, there's my gorgeous sister here.
No, wait,
Look,
what?
Listen, no, this is interesting.
You listen.
Look at her. She is so accomplished. The most successful female playwright since who? Lillian Hellman? She's over 50, divorced, and she sits in night after night after night because the available guys her age want somebody, forgive me for saying this, honey, but they want somebody that looks like Marin. So the whole over 50 dating scene is geared towards men leaving older women out. And as a result, the women become more and more productive, and therefore more and more interesting. Which in turn makes them even less desirable because, as we all know, men, especially older men, are threatened and deathly afraid of productive and interesting women. It is just so clear. Single older women as a demographic are about as fucked a group as can ever exist. What are you, possessed?
It's about it's with Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton. It's a Nancy Meyers written movie. It's about like a guy, like an older guy with a taste for
like a
younger
playboy.
women. Yeah, he's like a playboy. He's dating Diane Keaton's daughter, and they get stuck at this like Diane Keaton's beach house, and they end up falling in love. Keanu Reeves is in it, and it's a really, really cute movie. Actually, Diane Keaton was nominated for best actress for it. But I mean, I remember seeing it
as an Oscar.
Yeah, she was nominated for best actress.
I'm shocked by that.
I know, I was too.
It's so light. I would never have thought that would have been like an Oscar bait movie.
I know.
Wow, that surprises me.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's a really cute movie. I love Jack Nicholson too. I think they both play each other. Like, I think Diane Keaton is the same neurotic character in every single movie, and so is Jack Nicholson. So I think that I don't actually think either one of them act. I just think that they're themselves. And they're just so crazy that everyone loves them. But this movie is very, very cute, and it's a great movie.
I took this off my HMs just again to get that list down because Ryan told me it was present somewhere on his list, and I just wanted to make sure it was covered. This is one of my ones I love so much. I actually bought it on Amazon just so it's like kind of in my like I love watching it so much. This one, and there's another one Alec Baldwin. It's sort of like the West Coast, with Meryl Streep. But, you know, it's all white and neutral colors on the Hamptons. And there's just, you know, it's just like old, rich white people, like having, like living like these retired, like second lives. And it's lovely.
She's like an author.
But it's of a pair with that other movie. Yeah. She's a playwright.
Yeah.
She's a playwright.
Yeah.
Wait, is this the movie with Greg Kinnear, or is that something else?
You're
thinking of As Good as It Gets?
As Good as It Gets.
Yeah.
That was like my last. No.
Yeah, she did that. He did awesome.
No, very different movie.
That was a very different movie. That was my last. That was like number 3 on my last.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, you already talked about this movie.
He just likes the same old people.
Thank you.
They're all the same.
I like my old lady and old men movies. Anything with give me somebody who's in their 70s and I'm gonna watch it.
That's creepy.
All right, Tanya, you're number 6.
Okay, my number 6. I'm shocked it hasn't been mentioned yet. Maybe it's not. This maybe goes back to my teeny bopper. I love a good love story. This is basically the like ultimate love story. This is 2004's The Notebook.
Why didn't you write me? Why? It wasn't over for me. I waited for you for 7 years. And now it's too late.
I wrote you 365 letters. I wrote you every day for a year.
You wrote me?
Yes. It wasn't over. It still isn't over.
I mean, you've got Ryan Gosling. You've got what's her name? The Mean Girls.
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams. It's like a time period. It's what is that? World War II.
I think.
I think so.
Is it World War One?
No, I think it's World War II.
Whatever. Like the hair is gorgeous. You've got like the curls and all the pin-up hair, and everyone's just the lipstick and everything is really lovely about it. They just have the most amazing chemistry. I think weren't they dating after this movie? I mean, it won like the best kiss award from like MTV. It's just a great movie. I mean, it's that like long-standing love that you can't ever give up. That first love that just is your true love, and you've got the flashbacks to, when they're teenagers, and then when you don't know when they're older, is this them, because they kind of go by different names, sort of, and just how epic their love is, and how, they're in the retirement. Anyway, it's just all these things. It's really just a lovely movie. But it's just basically like the ultimate love story.
I grappled with this one a lot, and I wanted to put this in my top 10. It's lovely. There's some great dialogue in it. That scene when they're kind of yelling at each other. He's like, "This is what we do. We fight and we make up." And it's just, it's beautiful. They're clearly meant for each other, and it's so driven by Rachel McAdams and what's his butt, Gosling.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, I think without
Gosling.
the two of them, you don't have this movie, because they're
And
so dynamic and beautiful to look at.
And Nicholas Sparks, I think, wrote it, right? And he's written like a lot of those types of movies, or a lot of those types of books. Yeah.
And it was Nick Cassavetes who directed it, and Gina Rowland is his mom.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of fun. So he got to direct his mom in that. Yeah.
All right. Well, my number 6 is it's 2.5 hours long. It stars an actor who was kind of washed up at the time, and it was in a genre that had been left for dead, and it's based on a goddamn amusement park ride. Why is this movie so good? Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl.
You're the one they're hunting. The pirates.
You seem somewhat familiar. Have I threatened you before?
I make a point of avoiding familiarity with pirates.
Ah. Well, then it would be a shame to put a black mark on your record. So if you'll excuse me. Do you think this wise, boy? Crossing blades with a pirate?
You threaten Miss Swan.
Only a little. You know what you're doing, I'll give you that. Excellent form. But how's your footwork? If I step here... Very good. And now I step again. Ta. That is a wonderful trick. Except once again, you are between me and my way out. And now, you have no weapon.
This movie should not work, and it works like gangbusters. Every minute of it is fun. Every actor is selling the shit out of it. Johnny Depp got nominated for an Oscar for this. It should not work. Yeah, this should not work,
yeah.
And it is just so much fun all the way through. I could watch this anytime. Diminishing returns on the sequels, but this first one, it's got kind of everything you want. You've got kind of scoundrels double crossing each other, and adding in that element of the supernatural really made that they were actually struggling writing it, trying to get this movie to work. And the guys who were brought in to work on it had been working on a film adaptation of the video game series The Secret of Monkey Island, which is also pirates. And in those video games, those computer games, there are ghost pirates and skeleton pirates and stuff. And so it's not clear. It's not that they necessarily plagiarized that stuff, but they brought in that idea, and that last element is like the perfect spice that kind of gives everything, like that last push into being incredible with Jeffrey Rush as the leader of this literal skeleton crew. I just love this movie so much.
You've got that entrance from Johnny Depp where first is kind of the close up and you think he's just on the pirate ship going, and it just is an evocative of how the whole movie is. It takes itself seriously, but not too seriously. Where he is a comic figure, but he also carries himself with a very specific kind of honor, like the pirate's code and all that. But this is just, it's also evocative of like old Disney movies, the Swiss Family Robinson. They really go in and invest on these huge set pieces. It's just so much fun. And this is Disney, I think, at its best in how they really will, again, like Mary Poppins, like some of these big movies where it's just, they really set design the shit out of this, and they really find everyone is a great character actor. I mean, everyone in this is just so in it, and it's so, I love Johnny Depp in this, and it's, you get everybody. There's just a lot of comedy, where like Orlando Bloom is like, oh, is he always like this? Whatever, he kind of like mocks, Captain Jack. It's just great. It's so much fun. This is a great pick. This is actually in my HMs. It's just too hard. This was such a hard list.
Nuts. It wasn't on your list. This is the one I hadn't read. I thought it might show up.
So did I.
Yeah. It just, I couldn't, it was too hard. This is a really hard list.
Yeah.
I like it. I also like it because they've tried to do this again with, like, I think Haunted Mansion, where they made a movie after the ride, right? The ride came and then the movie, right? This is another, the ride came and then the movie. I liked this one because I've been going on that ride since I was, I don't know, like knee-high to a grasshopper. Yeah. Exactly. And I got the vibe of the ride in the movie. I loved, it was totally, I felt like they took the ride and a lot of the characterizations in the ride and kind of put that in the movie. I loved it. It was very good choice.
Yeah. One last thing to say about it. Tania, you mentioned that the introduction of Captain Jack Sparrow. Introductions of characters is incredibly important in movies. Like you need to invest in a character when you meet them. And it's like, if you flub that, you better hope that your audience is willing to hang on till they maybe catch that bus at another stop. Like character introductions are like incredibly important. That might be the best one in any movie I can think.
A+.
Absolutely.
A+ intro.
You watch him. He looks heroic on this, on the mast of a ship until you realize it's sinking. But as it sinks, it comes perfectly into the harbor and he steps off.
He's like steps right off.
Like it's never been done better than that.
It's just, again, because you don't know what you're getting, you just kind of see this guy that seems foolish, but the entire time, I mean, you are just, by the end of the movie, you're just like, so impressed. Like, he has just a mind for strategy, and just, and flair and everything. It's, fantastic, flawless choice.
All right, Am, you're number 5.
All right, my 5. We're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to take it away from action, and we're going to go to comedy/romance. I don't know what you'd call this movie. It's 2004's 13 going on 30.
You still take pictures?
Yeah, it pays the bills. Hey, Jenna, why are you here?
Maddie, I told you. Something really weird is happening. Yesterday was my 13th birthday. And then today I woke up and I'm this. And you're that. You get it?
Are you high? You've been smoking pot, doing X, falling into a K-hole, you doing drugs?
No. Look, I was sitting in my closet and I skipped everything. I mean, it's like a weird dream. I can't remember my life. But you need to help me remember my life.
Me?
Yes.
I can't do that.
Why not?
I don't know anything about you. All right? I haven't seen you since high school.
What?
We're not friends anymore, Jenna.
Maddie, you're my best friend.
No. Okay, it's cool. It's cool.
Is it warm in here?
It's... Maybe I should open a window.
I think I need some fresh air.
Fresh
and a
air.
glass of water and a
You want a
fluffy
glass
pillow,
of water?
please?
Have a seat. I'll get you some. You want a glass of water? Do you want ice in that?
I want a fluffy pillow!
A fluffy pillow coming right up. Sorry.
So this is basically the girl version of Big, I would say. It's a little girl makes a wish, and then suddenly she's an adult, and she, got what she wished for. And so all the things about being an adult that come true. And I think it's ultimately a movie about like appreciating what you have, and it stars Jennifer Garner, who I'm not really a big fan of, but she's so charming and adorable in this movie. Mark Ruffalo, who's amazing and charming, and I feel like this is not quite the type of role that he's in these days, that kind of male lead, but he does it so well. It has a fun dance scene, which we don't see a lot of anymore, but by golly, you've got to love a movie with a dance scene.
By golly.
Yeah. By golly. Who says by golly? So I really love this movie. It's been fun revisiting it with our daughter, who loves watching it too. Fun clothes.
It's
just
really
fun.
cute. It's a fun movie. It's very cute.
I just want to point
I'm sort of surprised. Oh, sorry. Go.
I was just going to say the other person I wanted to highlight in here who's actually really good is Andy Serkis is in this movie. And you're so used to him being kind of renowned for being this motion capture actor. So you're seeing the digital version of him. But he is an extremely good actor. He's great here. And so I always like when you get a chance to see him in live action, just to kind of remind you like, oh no, this dude is an incredible actor. He's extremely good. So yeah, he's very funny and charming. He's not a huge part of this, but like he kind of just owns the screen whenever he's there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my comment was just like, this is a surprising pick. I think there's other movies. This is a lot of fun. It's charming. I think at some point it might have been. I don't even know if it made it onto my HMs, but it's a lot of fun. No, surprising fun pick. Heartwarming.
So AKA Tanya hates your pick, Amy. Oh, just kidding.
Just surprised.
Just kidding. Okay.
Anyway.
All right. Well,
anyways,
then, Ryan, I dare you to do better with your number 5.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to. I'm gonna start it off by a song. Can't fight the moonlight deep in the dark. Go surrender your heart. No. 2000s Coyote Ugly.
So basically you have
Jim, Jack, Johnny Red, Johnny Black, and Jose, all my favorite men. You can have it any way you like, as long as it's in a shot glass.
Okay, I'll take a beer.
$4.
I'm Kenny, the Russian tea. Violet, the Jersey nun.
That was Rachel, the New York bitch. We all play our little parts. Only Rachel really is a bitch. And I really am a tease.
Tammy, you can only be a tease if you stop sleeping around, babe.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that part.
Have a shot at tequila, and don't forget one for your pretty little self.
Oh, thanks, but ever since I got really drunk on tequila, I never really drink the stuff anymore. Hey, Lil, you new girl's refusing you good booze. No, I was just asking this gentleman to buy me a double.
It's more like it. I need 8 shots, 4 Canadian, 4 south of the border, 6-pack MGD, and a double blended bag.
You want 8 shots of what?
I got it. 46 even, honey. Hey, Lil! Yo! Your Jersey girl can't quite keep up.
Hey, give me a scotch and water.
Okay, you got it. Lil, do we serve water with our whiskey? Only water I serve's got barley and hops in it. Hey, everybody! Do we serve water in this bar?
And I love this movie. I can watch this movie all the time. And it's one of the, I think it's a lot like Bodyguard and some of these movies where the music is so good that it makes the movie better. But it's about an aspiring songwriter who gets a job at a bar where she dances on the table, and John Goodman's in it, but he didn't want to be in it. He just did it for the money, he said, but he turned out to be really good in it.
Oh, that's funny.
It's a very cute movie. I put this on here because I have such nostalgic memories about it. I saw it and I remember seeing it, and every time it comes on TV, I'll watch it. I've been to the bar in Las Vegas. I just really like the cast. Tyra Banks was in it. It's just a fun movie. It's, not going to win any awards or anything like that, but yeah, it's a good movie.
Do you like the boyfriend that she has? Because he's pretty cute.
He's hot. The Australian guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen, I don't know. He hasn't aged well. I looked at the cast pictures, and yeah. But yeah, he's really good in it, and actually, how I thought about this is Maria, whatever, she's in NCIS. There's the one who owns the bar is in NCIS. Maria Bello is in NCIS, and I was just watching an NCIS episode, and I saw her, and I thought, Coyote Ugly, I wonder when that was made, and it was made in 2000, so that's why I put it in.
Nice. She was also in Duets, which is in 2000, and had we remembered that, it would have been on all of our lists, I'm sure.
Of course, yes.
Of course, yes. It should have been number 1.
Exactly. Maybe it still can be. I'll change it right now.
Yeah.
Good job.
The Coyote Ugly, it's a fun movie. I remember going to see this movie because a singer-songwriter that I really liked is in the movie. She's like playing her song in a bar, like randomly. Which
in the bar.
Yeah. When she's going to do the tryouts. She's one of the other ones in the bar. So I remember that's probably why I went to see the movie. And it really doesn't have as much Coyote Uglying as you would think. Like, it turned out, like, we all thought it was going to be this movie about girls dancing on the bar the entire time. And it has a lot more heart than that.
It's about a small town girl going to the city.
I don't know that it's a top 5, but... To each their own, I guess.
Says the lady who just had 13 going on 30 as her top 5. So I'll leave it at that. I'm just
fair.
All right,
if that wasn't judgment, because let me tell you, mine was a backhanded compliment. That was just a total insult.
No, I'm totally kidding. No, Amy, I liked 13 going on 30 is very cute. It was a good movie.
Tanya, let's see if your number 5 is Beyond Reproach.
Oh. Well, I think mine is, although I think Doug might think the source material or the source material author might be a problem. This is, for me, a classic one. This is absolutely nostalgic. I know exactly where I was, and I made one of the best puns of my whole life. This was in 2001. I was at Tulane. Janice and I went and saw this at the Britannia Theater. This is 2001's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Harry Potter?
Difficult, very difficult. Plenty of courage, I see. Not a bad mind either. There's talent, oh yes, and a thirst to prove yourself. But where to put you?
Not Slytherin. Not Slytherin.
Not Slytherin, eh? Are you sure? You could be great, you know. It's all here in your head. And Slytherin will help you on the way to greatness. There's no doubt about that. No? Well, if you're sure, better be Gryffindor!
This is, again, the first movie of 8, and I guess if you counted the spin-offs, 10 or 11. It's just a classic movie. We were sitting in this theater. It's a very old theater. I believe it's still there, where it's not like it had the stadium seating where you could see up. This is still where it was just kind of a very slanted floor, and Janice had to borrow one of her roommate's cars for us to drive over there. I mean, we were maybe 20, depending on what month this took place in. And we were sitting, and it was a person, a very tall, very shaggy-haired, huge-haired person was sitting, right in front of me. I'm like, who the fuck is this Shagrid? She-Hagrid? And it was just the best pun I feel like I've ever made. And we just were really enchanted. I mean, clearly I love the Harry Potter series, and that's something I can't wait to share with my kids. But this was, in particular, it was the manifestation. I mean, it was just trying to see, a literal magical world and put it into real life or whatever, and just really special to watch. I mean, I have issues with the story, and I like a true to story, but this was just so special.
I'm surprised it was so low. I'm surprised it's not higher on your list.
Oh, well, you haven't seen the rest of my list yet.
Okay, it's
a good list.
Is there a lot of Harry Potters in this
There was
time
one every
period?
year, I think, or close to it.
Oh, during this.
No,
okay, well that makes sense.
But I'm just saying, the rest of my list is just so highbrow.
But for someone who went to London and sat through 5 days of Harry Potter, the play or whatever, wasn't it
we did
Yeah,
go and
so
see the opening run of The Cursed Child. I was pregnant with Fig. Me and Jonathan and Janice, my 2 husbands, we traveled abroad to go watch this. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, no, Harry Potter is a big deal. Sammy's birthday, I was able to pick it, and it's actually Harry Potter's birthday.
Oh.
July 31st. I am a nerd. I really bought in on Harry Potter. My cats' names are Mac, McGonagall, and Dobby.
I mean, it's a great start to the series. Obviously, it was, a huge anticipated movie. It ended up being a huge hit. Chris Columbus knows what he's doing in terms of directing. I think there are better entries in the series than the first one, but I think, if you're going for nostalgic memories, you're definitely going to pick the first one. I enjoy this series a lot. I the fact that J.K. Rowling herself sucks ass is, unfortunate, but it doesn't take away from the fact that these movies and books are a lot of fun. And yeah, I remember going to see this in the theaters in 2001. I remember, the people I would see with some of my improv friends and kind of just taking note of geez, these kids are really good actors. And they turned out to be really good actors all the way through and beyond. So yeah, and talk about, again, murderer's row of the cast for this movie and all of the subsequent movies. They could basically get whoever they wanted. So it's just a who's who of the best actors in Britain. It's, really impressive.
I remember reading an article in either the newspaper or a magazine, and it said, Daniel Radcliffe is a name you don't know now, but everyone will know in a year, and he's going to be one of the most famous people in the world. He's the most famous person in the world that you don't know who he is right now, and he had just gotten chosen to be Harry Potter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It had, I guess, and like Doug said, there was a huge casting. I don't think they wanted people who had already been in a lot of movies, so he kind of tried out.
He'd been in Masterpiece Theater shit.
Yeah,
but yeah,
nothing.
I mean, you don't want something where you're bringing in a history on somebody that's a lifelong commitment. You don't know what you're getting into. This is a terrible analogy, but my kids are in a Spanish immersion program at their elementary school, but you have to commit basically your life, your whole childhood to doing Spanish. I mean, it's nowhere near the same like gravity, but like you have to realize this is what you're just going to do. And so I signed today the contract for Sammy since he's starting kindergarten. But yeah, it's just you had to go in, and you would never know the like phenomenon it would be. But you're going in and just having this lifelong commitment.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't come to these books and these movies until much later.
I
Like,
didn't either.
I mean, I remember starting to
I
read them,
didn't either.
I think, when we started dating. And I was
Oh, wow,
reading
that
some
late.
of them when we were in Greece, I think, Tanya. Like, I
mean,
definitely
you would
didn't-
just have ignored any of my entreaties to read them.
I don't remember it. Like, I just don't remember it at the time when it, like, was actually popular. I came to it much later.
My brother told me, because I remember exactly, I was a junior in college, I think, when I really started really going into them. And he was like, yeah, you were always reading, but then you would just not stop talking about these books. And Jonathan, actually, my brother Jonathan, always kind of, I think, attributes the movies to sort of us becoming more friends than just siblings, is finding some kind of a common interest. And we love Harry Potter. This is something that we would, Janice and I, Jonathan and I, we do all these, like, I mean, it's been a long time, but do all this trivia. And we would be like, who knows the most about, like, Harry Potter trivia? And, like, the most arcane shit.
All right, my number 5. This is
Sorry, Doug.
No problem. This is a comedy. This is, I think, a comedy that might have the highest density of jokes since Airplane. And there is just not a bum moment in it. Everything is funny. Every cast member is delivering at every moment. And that is Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
I mean, come on, Ed, it's bullcrap. Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchorman, not Anchor Lady, and that is a scientific fact. Huh? I don't know what we're yelling about. You're with us, Ron. What do you think? It's terrible. She has beautiful eyes, and her hair smells like cinnamon. Mm-hmm. Loud noises. All right, everyone relax. She's not going to take anyone's airtime.
I read somewhere that their periods attract bears. The bears can smell the menstruation.
Well, that's just great. You hear that, Ed? Bears. Now you're putting the whole station in jeopardy.
The quotability of this thing is off the charts. And God, between Will Ferrell himself, who is just, this is just the peak Will Ferrell. You got Paul Rudd and Steve Carell and Dave Koechner are all crushing it as this team of idiot news anchors. But then Christina Applegate, holds her own against all of that comedic just tsunami to really just hold the movie together. And God, it's just so fucking funny. I don't even know what clip I'm going to use to go with this. There's too many to choose from.
As random as it sounds, I'm not a huge Will Ferrell fan. I think I've seen 15 minutes of it and I fell asleep. I don't know. I'm sure it's just not my humor. So I really don't have much to. It's a good pick because I know it's like every list I looked at, it's like number 5 or 4. So I know it's just me. But I just have no connection to this movie at all.
I'd like to rewatch it because I don't either.
Oh, well, shit, I'll watch it anytime.
I've seen it, but yeah.
I would say almost the same thing, except that I rewatched it in the last couple years. Is one of like the dads at the preschool that we have kids in both that were in both grades together, and sometimes he would quote it at me, and I would be like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And like would send me a few clips, and it did inspire me to rewatch it. It is funny, but I would definitely say it's also not necessarily my humor, that one in particular, but when I did watch it again, it was objectively very funny.
I need to watch it again.
Sorry, Doug, we're like wah-wah on this one.
Milk was a bad choice. All right. Then I'll turn it over to Amy for her number 4.
Okay, my number 4 is a movie starring John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale. It's Serendipity from 2001.
I don't know if what you said to that guy makes any sense.
I think it does, but I think we scared the Jesus out of him.
All right, you were pretty fierce. This will work, though. This is quite a coffee.
No, but I'm serious about the check. It's the least I can do.
Well, thank you, bud. See, now I have to go find something else for my girlfriend.
Oh, they were for your girlfriend.
Yes, they were.
Oh, I can't accept them now.
Well, you have to, otherwise you won't treat. Really. Let me tell you something. This is the ultimate blend to drink. Where do you find this place?
I first came in because of the name. Serendipity. It's one of my favorite words.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
It's just such a nice sound for what it means, a fortunate accident. Except I don't really believe in accidents. I think fate's behind everything.
No, you do.
Yeah.
Fate's behind everything.
I think so.
Everything's predestined. We don't have any choice at all.
No, I think we make our own decisions. I just think that fate sends us little signs, and it's how we read the signs that determines whether we're happy or not.
Little signals.
Yeah.
Fortunate accidents, lucky discoveries, like Columbus in America.
Yeah, or Fleming discovering penicillin.
Yeah. Fleming was his name?
Yes.
Or Jonathan in the Gloves.
I don't know that one.
You don't know that story? It's an old folktale, classic. Our hero Jonathan goes out in search of black gloves, and in a perfect act of serendipity or serendipaciousness, he runs into a beautiful, attractive English girl with a boyfriend. You have a boyfriend, right?
Yeah, I do.
That's what I thought.
And you have the glove lady.
Yes, I do.
Oh, I love this movie.
I've always loved this movie. It takes place in Serendipity in New York, which is like a cute little cafe. Well, it starts there. The whole movie doesn't take place there. And it's just about like these two people who, you know, if they're meant to be together, the stars will align and they'll find their way back to each other. And it's this, you know, this girl who believes in destiny and she's willing to leave it up to fate if they meet and they, you know, they have a really enchanting evening together and then they just say goodbye. And she says, you know what, if it's up to the universe, we'll see each other again. And kind of what follows with that. But it's just a sweet little story and it's really fun and it has oh god, what's his name?
Molly Shannon, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the friend.
John Cusack. It's Ari. It's Ari from Entourage.
Yeah, that guy. I'll look it up later. But he's really fun in this movie. He's a writer and he writes this obituary about their dying love. It's really cute and sweet and I like John Cusack a lot. And it's too bad we don't really see much of him anymore.
I have a nostalgic memory about this movie. My mom and I saw it, and when I was living in New York City, my mom came, and I don't remember the movie. I know we both really liked it, but we went to Serendipity and got their frozen hot chocolates, which is kind of like their big thing. And I remember us sitting there and just being like, oh, how cool. This is like really neat. And then they opened one in Las Vegas, and we both went to the one in Las Vegas actually too. Yeah. I should tell my mom we need to watch the movie again, because we really liked it. I remember, and it sparked us to go to that restaurant in New York. But other than that, I remember liking it. I just don't remember it specifically.
And we've been to the Serendipity, right?
Yeah.
We've been there.
We shared a frozen hot chocolate and a French onion soup.
That is a interesting combination. Jeremy Piven is his name.
Yes, thank you.
And fun tidbit is that he actually went to acting school from John Cusack's mother. So he was like in the like Chicago acting improv world or whatever. And so John Cusack comes from, or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's Jeremy Piven's mother that does the acting school or something, but like the families know each other and are like close or something.
All right, so that means we are up to number 4 for Ryan.
Okay, number 4 for me is a movie that had a $5 million budget. No one thought it was going to be like anything. It turned out to make $369 million. It is one of the most successful romantic comedies of all time. And it is My Big Fat Greek Wedding from 2002.
Sneak around all over Chicago, but you never come here to ask me, can you date my daughter?
Well, I'm sorry, but I asked you if I can date your daughter. Sir, she's 30 years old.
I am the head of this house.
Okay. May I please date your daughter?
No!
I'll see you tomorrow.
Didn't I say it's a mistake to educate women? But nobody listened to me. Now we have a boyfriend in the house. Is he nice Greek boy? Oh, no Greek. No Greek, Xeno. Xeno with the big, long hairs on top of his head. Costa.
I'm sorry I lied to you.
It follows a young Greek-American woman who falls in love with an American guy and struggles to get her family to accept it because of all the cultural differences, but it is hysterical. Vula, the Aunt Vula, is like the funniest person alive. I mean, it is so funny from the beginning to the end. Actually, it's the highest grossing romantic comedy of all time. And, incidentally, Tom Hanks' wife, Rita Wilson, saw something like it on a play, and she told him he should buy it and make it into a movie. But I mean, it is just such a funny movie. And I remember seeing it in film. I peed my pants, I think. I love going to a movie when the whole audience is engaged and like, everyone was full and everyone was cracking up, and you walked out of the theater and people's eyes were red because we were laughing so hard. It's just a funny movie, and it just works. It's so successful. It works throughout. None of the sequels work. Don't see number 2 or number 3 because they're terrible. But number 1 is just lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. Agree. I think it's great. It came off my HMs again just because I had too many. But it's so much fun. I did just see very recently the third one, the one where they go to Greece. It is garbage. But it's
I did too.
But they're just you watch them again knowing they're garbage because the characters are fantastic. You know who they are, you know the elements. Yeah. I think John Corbett, is that his name? Mm-hmm. He is very charming. It's a charming, lovely movie. It kind of in the same vein as like that Bend It Like Beckham, where you have that sort of immigrant mentality of like trying the push and pull of becoming westernized while retaining your cultural traditions, and it's I think it's incredibly sweet. It's so heartwarming,
and it's very quotable. You give me a word, I show you how it's Greek, or
Windex or whatever.
Windex for everything. Yes, it's great. Oh.
I'm a vegetarian. I'll give you lamb.
Yeah. You eat lamb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tania, your number 4.
So my number 4 is a lot of fun, is another Amy cheat. And this is an even more tenuous connection than my prior one. These are both action movies, if you will, that feature canceled actors. So that's all I can really put together with them, but I that's about it. So the first one is 2003's Bad Boys 2.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm Mr. Burnett. I'm Reggie.
What you doing here?
Came to take on Megan.
What?
I came to take on Megan.
How old are you?
I'm 15, Mr. Burnett.
Motherfucker, you look 30. Show me some ID.
I don't have none on me.
You don't have no idea. Get your ass up against that wall. What the fuck's your problem? You think you know it all. You little young Thundercat. You got joints on you?
No.
You smoke that shit?
No, sir.
You trying to get my daughter high? You smoke that shit?
Nigga, who that is,
It's
dog?
Reggie.
Who the fuck is Reggie?
Came to take Megan out.
What you want, nigga?
I'm here to take his daughter out.
What's your name?
Reggie.
Well, no, I heard a motherfucker say your name, Reggie. You taking Megan out?
Yes, sir.
How old is you?
15.
Shit, nigga, you at least 30.
This is Mike.
Can you fight?
Yeah.
You can fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you motherfucker, you can't fight. Look at you.
Mike.
No, I want to know if the nigga. I want
on.
somebody gonna take my niece out. I want to know if the nigga can fight. Somebody might come say something.
Hey.
The nigga can't fight. She can't go.
This is Megan's godfather, okay? He just got out the joint.
Why you putting all my business in the street? Why you putting all? I just got out of jail and I ain't going back. I ain't going back.
Which is just Will Smith. I love it. I love it so much. I think they're so funny. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence have amazing chemistry together. The new one comes out tomorrow, and I'm actually really bummed we don't have the ability to see it this weekend because I love those movies so much. I think they're so funny. They just have a blast. I feel like they must improv half the things they do, and the action is superb. It's so much fun. The second one doesn't have the same light tone, but I think it's also very good action in a whole other way. This is an epic. This is 2000's The Patriot.
Release the prisoners!
General, what is this?
Prisoner exchange.
He has 18 of our officers.
Who is he? I recognize him.
He's the commander of the militia. Your ghost.
Say that sword, Colonel!
He rode in under a white flag for formal parley.
This is madness. If you harm him, you condemn our officers. General, with respect, sir, he's killed as many officers in the last 2 months. He has shown no aggression here, hence he cannot be touched. Has he not?
You! Well, you're the ghost, are you? I remember you. From that farm, that stupid little boy. Did he die?
You know, it's an ugly business, doing one's duty. But just occasionally, it's a real pleasure.
Before this war's over, I'm going to kill you.
Why wait?
With Mel Gibson. So F Mel Gibson, but I love The Patriot. I was just Jonathan was just telling me the other day, my husband Jonathan, he's like, I think the boys, or at least Fig, might be ready to see it. He's like, except that there's that really bloody graphic scene, like, in the first half of the movie where he chops the shit out of some guy out of a redcoat. He's like, but there's like a TV version where when he comes out, where he like, instead of being completely bloodied, it's like they black it out like it's mud or something. He's like, so we probably need to show him the PG version. But it's just also, again, we just came back from Philly, so we're very into like Revolutionary War stuff, and Jonathan's always into war stuff. But I love The Patriot. I can't even count how many times I've seen it. Heath Ledger. You've got the kid from Everwood that we love, that Janice and I always loved. It's just a great movie. I think Mel Gibson is fantastic in this. I mean, he's just a terrible human, but he's a very good actor, and he's, I think it's a great movie. I really, really enjoy The Patriot.
It's like Braveheart in the 1700s. I know, in a lot of ways. Yeah. It's like the
epic, all the battle scenes, but the battle scenes, just like Braveheart, are out of control.
Amazing.
It's
a great pick. Yeah. It is a great pick. I think Mel Gibson he's a great actor. He's a terrible human, but he's a great actor. How many, like Kevin Spacey, we can go on the list of great actors, terrible humans.
I don't have anything.
I have not seen The Patriot, and I have not seen Bad Boys, so I can't comment on them. But I mean, they're obviously well regarded, so I'm not going to criticize your choice. So, all right, I'll also move this along. My number 4. I've seen this pop on list. People will describe this as one of, like, if not the best movie of this century, which I think is a little hyperbolic, but it did win the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature the year it came out. It may have beat Monsters, Inc. I can't remember for this honor. I think it did, but it is an absolute masterpiece. It is 2001's Spirited Away.
Step up to the right, please, gentlemen.
We share a towel? Yeah. I don't think they're big enough.
Your rooms are right this way. Lynn?
What?
What's that smell? It's human. You smell just like a human.
Oh, really?
Where's it coming from, Lynn? Come on. You're hiding something, aren't you? Show it to me.
Is this what you smell?
Roasted newt!
No way, Frog. I'm saving every last bite for myself.
Please, just a little bit. Just give me a leg.
If you want to go up, pull the lever on your right.
Give me. How could you be so cruel? Can't you share? suck on the tail. Please.
From Hayao Miyazaki. This is a Japanese animator who people may not know, but if you've heard of My Neighbor Totoro, that's him. He's basically the Japanese Walt Disney. He's spent his career making...
This isn't the one where the castle flies away, right? No, that's Howl's Moving Castle.
Which is, I kind of like Howl's Moving Castle a little better than Spirited Away, but I think Spirited Away is the better film. Howl's Moving Castle is a little confusing, and you have to kind of see it a few times to really understand what's happening. Spirited Away is not. It's basically an Alice in Wonderland story. This girl and her parents just kind of go out exploring one day, and they wander into a magical world through a tunnel. The parents eat magical food they're not supposed to eat and are turned into pigs. And so she needs to make her way through this strange world, figure out how to turn her parents back into humans and escape unharmed. And it's a very simple premise, but the animation is gorgeous. All of Miyazaki's films are gorgeously animated. And what I love about them is we're so used to the Western rhythms of animated movies, especially Disney stuff. And, you know, what's cool about this is something that comes out of a studio from Japan is like, there's a different rhythm to the way the story is told. There's different kinds of images that you wouldn't see that we're not used to that maybe a Japanese audience would recognize, like, oh, I know that. I grew up with that concept, you know, that's something normal. But it's such a wild, imaginative, beautiful ride. And I've not watched it in the original Japanese. I've watched the English dub. I didn't feel like reading subtitles that much, but the actors for the English dub are great. You have the little girl from is it from Lilo and Stitch? DeVay Chase is the main girl. You've got what's her face who plays Meg in Disney's Hercules. She's the main character, and there's a few other like big names in the cast. But again, just gorgeous, like jaw-droppingly gorgeous, well told, perfect little story. And yeah, it's on all those lists for a reason. If you haven't watched Miyazaki stuff, go treat yourself. It's all on Max too. You can see almost every Miyazaki film on Max, but this is probably the best place to start. With that, we'll go to Amy and her number 3.
All right, the rest of my movies have all been talked about by other people, so I don't know how interesting this is going to be. But my number 3 is Legally Blonde. So we don't have to dive too much into it, but I love an underdog story, and in a way, she's kind of an underdog in this movie. You know, she's she's
totally is
this stereotypical,
she's a fish out of water,
stereotypical blonde. You're not expecting her to succeed, and she really does, and she does so in a way that is not at the. She's not. What am I trying to say? I feel like I haven't been able to put a.
She goes high when they.
She's authentic.
When they go,
she's authentic to herself, and she doesn't.
When they go low, she goes high.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's a genuinely nice person, and something I saw when I was reading about this movie today was that, you know, the dorky guy that she kind of helps introduce him to like some guys or some girls in the. He is the son of Anthony Perkins, which I thought was interesting.
Interesting.
His name is Oz Perkins. Okay. Anyways, so really fun, great quotable movie. We've already talked about it, so that's it.
All right, then Ryan, your number 3.
My number 3 definitely won an Academy Award for Best Actress. It is a very strong female-led movie, and it is Erin Brockovich.
Let's be honest here. $20 million is more money than these people have ever dreamed of.
Oh, see, now that pisses me off. First of all, since the demur, we have more than 400 plaintiffs, and let's be honest, we all know there are more out there. They may not be the most sophisticated people, but they do know how to divide, and $20 million isn't shit when you split it between them.
Aaron.
Second of all, these people don't dream about being rich. They dream about being able to watch their kids swim in a pool without worrying that they'll have to have a hysterectomy at the age of 20. Like Rosa Diaz, a client of ours, or have their spine deteriorate like Stan Bloom, another client of ours. So before you come back here with another lame-ass offer, I want you to think real hard about what your spine is worth, Mr. Walker. Or what you might expect someone to pay you for your uterus, Miss Sanchez. Then you take out your calculator and you multiply that number by 100. Anything less than that is a waste of our time. By the way, we had that water brought in special for you folks. Came from Well and Hinckley.
Ooh.
It is a dramedy about an unemployed mother who becomes a legal assistant and almost brings down a California power company for polluting a city's drinking water. And it's so good. And it's actually part of the reason I liked it. My dad was a pretty senior executive in a California utility, Southern California Edison, and he actually not only met but was dealing with Erin Brockovich quite a bit during his career. And they were on opposite sides of. She tried to sue his company, but anyway, she said that the movie was like 99.9% accurate, and it's just a really good movie. I think Julia Roberts portrays it great. She won an Oscar for it, and yeah, it's funny, it's heartwarming. Ed Masry, she worked for him for like up until I don't know if he's dead, but I think she worked for him pretty much her entire career. She fought for the underdogs. She was just a great character, and I think I really enjoyed the movie.
I'm looking up if he's dead.
Huh?
What are you looking up?
He's dead.
Oh.
Okay, Ed Masry's dead.
I'm looking on the bar website.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a very well regarded movie. It's probably, I don't know. I've seen it a ton of times. The ending is heartwarming with when she goes back to I forget the name of the city, but she goes back. Hinkley, yeah, and the lady her whole family has cancer, and she's like, "We won," and it's just it's a heartwarming movie. I love it.
All right,
we're tired.
Tania, you're number 3.
Okay, so also heartwarming movie, ensemble cast, Murderers Row, all these words we've heard before. This is 2003's. I think they call it the ultimate love or rom-com. It's Love Actually.
So, what was this epiphany?
It was about Christmas.
You realised it was all around?
No, I realised that Christmas is the time to be with the people you love.
Right.
And I realised that as dire chance and fateful cock-up would have it, here I am, mid-50s. And without knowing it, I've gone and spent most of my adult life with a chubby employee. and much as it grieves me to say it, it might be that the people I love is, in fact, you.
Well, this is a surprise.
Yeah.
10 minutes at Elton John's, you're as gay as a maple.
No, look, I'm serious here. I left Elton's where there were a hefty number of half-naked chicks with their mouths open in order to hang out with you at Christmas.
Well, Bill...
It's a terrible, terrible mistake, Chubbs. But you turn out to be the fucking love of my life.
And it's kind of, I would almost say it's like, it is, but it isn't like akin to like a Pulp Fiction, and the fact that you have all these different vignettes and they sort of come together and, you know, they're all connected. I mean, that's the stretch I'm going to make, but it's just enchanting. It's just an enchanting, fun movie. I probably saw it. It was probably law school. I was probably in law school at the time, because that would have been a Christmas movie in 2003. But it's just so heartwarming. It's so fun. And I think the end scenes where just, you know, someone has to just kind of man up to be, you know, to sort of declare their love for whoever. I really love the Colin Firth scene when he's in Portugal and, you know, and she says, like, just in cases, like she's clearly been learning English too as he's learning Portuguese. And just all these different things. And you see like Emma Thompson's heart breaking as she's listening to Joni Mitchell with, you know, Professor Snape, who clearly is like almost having an affair. But it's just love that comes through in so many different ways. You know, the Hugh Grant of it all. And just, it's just lovely. I think it's a lot of fun.
I've got a question for you. What do you think the age difference was between Keira Knightley and the little boy in the movie? You'll be shocked.
Oh, it's not much because she was very young.
It's like 5 years. The little boy who is who
the gymnast.
Likes
the drummer. Right?
The drummer. Yeah. This is my number 2, so I will talk on this. One of my favorite quotes in all movies is whenever I get gloomy about the state of the world, I think about the arrivals gate at London Heathrow. General opinion starting to make out that we live in a world of hatred and greed, but I don't see it that way. I see that love is everywhere. Often it's not particularly dignified or newsworthy, but it's always there. Fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, husbands and wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, old friends. When the planes hit the Twin Towers, as far as I know, none of the phone calls were of hate or revenge. They were all messages of love. If you look for it, I've got a sneaking feeling you'll find that love actually is all around. It's one of my favorite quotes in a movie. I think this is a great movie, Tanya, and it's so heartwarming for me because I watch it every Christmas. And I love the whole scene where he goes and he has the cards. You're perfect to me. It's just a great movie. Great pick. It's my number 2.
I had a hunch this would show up.
Yeah.
I had this funny story. I guess it was not really nostalgia, but I was dating this guy. This is many years ago. It was the barista guy from Long Beach, Amy. And I was like we were picking a movie to watch, and I was like, oh, let's watch this movie. Like, I don't know. He was like, I don't want to watch a rom-com. I'm like, no, it's not really a rom-com. It's just cute. And I bring it over or whatever, and he's like, it says on the back, ultimate rom-com. And I just thought it was really funny because I was trying to convince him it was something it wasn't. But it's just fun.
Oh, it's a rom-com. There's no question.
It's a total rom-com. I was trying to argue something that was a failing argument.
I do love its ensemble nature, though. It's a little more sophisticated than an average rom-com because of that. It's telling these multiple vignettes with, like you said, Andrew Lincoln and Keira Knightley and Emma Thompson and Alan Rickman.
There's 9 of them.
Yeah.
And the Bill Nighy portion, when nobody's talked about that, which is so funny.
Oh,
so
Billy
good.
Mack and Joe. That's my favorite. But
I
there's
love
9.
that that's the love that they share. Like, that's a very non-traditional love that they really highlight these different loves of just, like, that best friendship that... Whatever you want to call
you're
that
the love of my life.
Lovely.
He said, my fat manager is the love of my life at the end. Yeah, I love it.
All right, well, I'll move on here to my number 3. You know, we're so inundated in superhero movies, especially Marvel movies. They're kind of everywhere, and I can see why people are tired of them. But this movie is one of the best, and it's the reason there's been so many since, I think. And you know, there's a few I'd rank higher than this, but not many, and that is Spider-Man 2.
You take Spider-Man's pictures, right?
I used to.
Where is he?
Henry and I agree. We don't see his picture in the paper anymore.
He quit.
Why?
Wanted to try other things.
He'll be back, right?
I don't know.
You'll never guess who he wants to be. Spider-Man.
Why?
Well, he knows a hero when he sees one. Too few characters out there flying around like that, saving old girls like me. And Lord knows, kids like Henry need a hero. Courageous, self-sacrificing people, setting examples for all of us. Everybody loves a hero. People line up for them, cheer them, scream their names, and years later they'll tell how they stood in the rain for hours just to get a glimpse of the one who taught him to hold on a second longer. I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble, and finally allows us to die with pride, even though sometimes we have to be steady and give up the thing we want the most, even our dreams. Spider-Man did that for Henry, and he wonders where he's gone. He needs him.
Spider-Man 2 is really special. Alfred Molina crushes his portion of the movie as Doc Ock. The action sequences are some of the best superhero sequences ever put to film in terms of, you know, allowing Spider-Man to kind of shine at what he does best. But I think it's, you know, the line about with great power comes great responsibility gets so kind of, you know, hackneyed and hammered home. But what it means is like the superhero movies really shine when you actually put that to the test. And like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in this movie, he suffers so much. It's all about how he is constantly having to put others ahead of himself. He can't hold down a job. He can't get the girl he wants. He's in physical danger all the time. He has to keep his secret. Like, he's just constantly taking it at every turn, to the point where he actually quits being Spider-Man halfway through the movie, but then realizes, of course, that like, if I don't, who will? And there's something about that notion of like, you know, you have to step up and do the right thing that makes that movie really tick in a way that most movies in this genre, you know, aspire to, but never reach. So yeah, just an incredible film.
That's fun. I think you found a lot of meaning in a movie I wouldn't necessarily have thought twice about. I like all the I love action movies of any kind. I like superhero movies, so that's a lot of fun. I would never have attributed that much meaning to it.
Yeah, I think, you know, the proof is like when you look at the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, which I like, they're fun, but it isn't until that last one of Spider-Man No Way Home where like he has to make an enormous sacrifice for the greater good. And that's when like finally he really becomes Spider-Man, because like that's what it means. You have to suck a lot of, you know, just eat a lot of shit for the greater good. And
well, when you were sharing that, that's exactly what I was thinking of, is all of that last, you know, all of that, you know, with Aunt May and all of that, and I really enjoyed that. But you're right, it's choosing more than yourself. That's
what heroism is, you know. I think that's what it means. And so any movie that, whether it's super heroics and supernatural stuff, or, you know, very everyday heroics, like that is what you need to make any movie like that work, because you have to have a true hero, a heroic sacrifice, and that movie's all about it. So Amy, you're number 2.
All right, my number 2 movie, again, we've already talked about this. It's 2003's Pirates of the Caribbean, which I know I'm not really one for action movies, but this is just one of the best of the action movies. We've said everything else. Just a funny little tidbit I will share is that I had kind of a sexy ugly crush on Jeffrey Rush from this movie. That like when he's like
with the skin or without?
With it. Okay. Doesn't make any sense, but there you have it. So Pirates of the Caribbean featuring my non-traditional crush. Not Orlando Bloom, not Johnny Depp.
It's that sexy ugly that you like. You like a good sexy ugly.
Yep.
Yeah, you like that.
All
right, moving along.
That's on brand for you.
All right, Ryan. You said your number 2, which was Love Actually.
My number 2 is Love Actually. Yeah.
All right, then Tanya, you're number 2.
Okay, so I'm going to harken back to a call out from Amy. This is number 2. This is 2002's Signs. I love this fucking movie so much. This is Mel Gibson. I guess I've got 2 Mel Gibson movies on my top 10. Joaquin Phoenix. You've got the Kieran Culkin, right? That's the one from Succession, and the little girl that's I can't think of which little girl it is, but it's just so good. And Amy really just hit it on the head. And I wanted to say, and I was really annoyed because you said all these things I wanted to say, but it's just the end of the movie where everything comes together. And I got chills. I remember being there. I remember having the chills, walking out of the theater, being with Julia and Janice, and being like, I still have fucking chills. I say quite often to myself, swing away, Meryl. And in making this list, I rewatched, like, on YouTube, like, kind of that end scene where everything comes together, where it's not horror, but I mean there's definitely horror elements to it. Again, that like the pop out scary a little bit, but just like gets spooky, like in the dark in the cellar, and then like the alien grabs the like kids sort of, but just all the different parts. There's, you know, and M. Night Shyamalan is always in it. Like it's just always so meaningful. It's the dialogue is always purposeful. There's always something that he is using. There's not a lot of extraneous stuff coming in. You just have to find it. And I think it's so good. It's just so fucking good. And I mean, I love it. And, you know, just all the parts and the wife coming in and how this tragedy just whatever it is, is there a higher purpose? And, that's what he's struggling with throughout the whole movie. And just going back to that scene, the heartbreaking scene where he's talking to his wife as she's literally dying, and she's saying all these things, it's just, I think it's a perfect movie. I love it so much. So Amy, you were spot on.
There's that great scene when the two brothers are talking to each other on the couch when the shit's going down. It's beautiful. I think it's such a beautiful scene. And he's talking about...
Is that where he's like, you can't not be my big brother, so, like, suck it up? Like, you need to...
No, it's the part, like, you have to choose, like, are you a person of... I don't remember the exact language. You'll have to pull this one for the quote. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think there it is. I think it's where he also just says, like, this scares me. You're my big brother, and you have to be my big brother. And I think within the context of some of that. Mm-hmm. It's quiet. I think it's slow. And it's paced really well. And then you'll have, like, I don't know, it's funny. There are funny parts in it, too. Like where they're running around the house in the middle of the night, and Joaquin Phoenix tells Mel Gibson, well, just run and say scary things. And he just is sort of very, like, stoic and trying to... I just think it's really well done.
It's quirky. It's got a quirky sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I'll go from quirky sense of humor to something a little more somber and a little sad, but beautiful. This is the one movie I mentioned would sort of feel at home on my list from the late 90s, because this one is more innovative and weird, but it is a movie that is, I think, anyone can relate to this. It is about relationships, and specifically the tragic end of relationships, and how people process that stuff. It is 2002's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Hi.
Hi. You figured you'd show your face around me again. I guess I thought you were humiliated. You did run away, after all.
I just needed to see you. And,
yeah?
I'd like to, take you out or something.
You're married.
Not yet. Not married. No, I'm not married.
Look, man, I'm telling you right off the bat, I'm high maintenance, so I'm not gonna tiptoe around your marriage or whatever it is you got going there. If you want to be with me, you're with me.
Okay.
Too many guys think I'm a concept, or I complete them, or I'm gonna make them alive. But I'm just a fucked up girl who's looking for my own peace of mind. Don't assign me yours.
I remember that speech really well.
I had you pegged, didn't I?
Yeah, the whole human race pegged.
Probably.
I still thought you were going to save my life, even after that.
I know.
It would be different if we could just give it another go-round.
Remember me. Try your best. Maybe we can.
This movie, if you've ever been through a breakup, this movie will speak to you, and who hasn't. But it doesn't have to be about the end of a romantic relationship to make sense. And the concept of the movie, if people haven't seen it, is there is Jim Carrey had some kind of a relationship, romantic relationship with Kate Winslet. There was an ugly breakup, and he goes to a doctor who claims to be able to do a procedure that will completely wipe her from his memory. And the movie then proceeds, you are mostly experiencing what is going on inside Jim Carrey's head while he's undergoing the procedure. So you're getting snippets of their relationship, the good parts, the bad parts. It's kind of out of order. And then as the movie progresses, of course, she starts to disappear from it, and he has to struggle with, does he, regret this choice? Can he stop it from happening? Should he stop it from happening? And then what happens next after it's over? And it's, again, directed by Michel Gondry, written by Charlie Kaufman. It's very high concept and visually striking, but the emotional heartbeat of this movie is so strong and so, I think, relatable to anybody that you have to see it at least once to really experience it. And some part of it will speak to you, I think.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I think
it's now on my list.
I think I've seen it once, maybe twice, and I do think you're either kind of a Eternal Sunshine fan or you're not. I'm not anti. I'm just, it never got its hooks into me. But frankly, your sort of summary makes me want to see it again.
Yeah, me too.
I know, and it is visually striking. I remember there being some, and it's not just like in the like gimmicks or whatever. It's, you know, just also in the like costuming, the hair and makeup. There's something about it that is real, but also like high concept.
Yeah, I mean, for example, they do a lot. Just Jim Carrey's character, I believe the character's name is Joel, dresses pretty like a normal person, and Kate Winslet is kind of manic pixie dream girl. Her hair color is constantly changing.
Right.
You can like visually they are a mismatch. They're trying to tell you these people maybe don't belong together, and the movie doesn't give you the easy answer of like, no, they should get back together or they shouldn't. It's, you know, you're left kind of wondering, you know, what is the right outcome, and if they do get back together, will they end up breaking up again for all the same reasons they broke up the first time? The movie doesn't give you any easy answers on that stuff. It leaves you to kind of just sit and, you know, think about those things, and of course how they might apply to you. And there's just so much in it. It's so thoughtful and so profound that I couldn't leave it off the list. So with that, we're now at the point of our honorable mentions, which are 50 miles long.
I will go fast.
We'll have to go fast. I know it's getting late. So Amy, we'll start with you and your honorable mentions.
Okay. Final Destination, Finding Neverland, that was like really high up about the making of Peter Pan. Happy Accidents, How to Deal. I thought that would be on your list, Tanya, at least in your honor.
I don't even know what that is. Is that the one where they sing Wild World?
I think so.
Is Peter Gallagher in it and he's the DJ dad? And maybe CJ Craig is the mom?
I don't know these names. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know names.
No, what's her name? Allison Janney.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Trent something hot is in it too as the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, which is so fun. Life is a House, Life of David Gale. Matchstick Men, which I really wanted to be higher up on my list, but I just haven't seen it enough to have enough commentary on it. But we should rewatch that. I don't know if we have, but phenomenal. Sam Rockwell. Save the Last Dance. The Whole 9 Yards with Chandler Bing and Amanda Peet was so fun. Under the Tuscan Sun. Wicker Park was high up on my list.
I was surprised that's not higher. Yeah.
And Win a Date with Tad Hamilton, which is not a good movie at all, but really fun. Nostalgia for me.
All right. Ryan, your honorable mentions.
A lot of mine have been already said, so I'm just going to go with the ones that have not been talked about yet. So Traffic, Gladiator, Memento. Has anybody seen Memento? Memento is a really good movie. Y Tu Mama Tambien is another movie. I speak Spanish, and so it's if you have to read the subtitles, sometimes it kind of sucks, but it's a good movie. Kill Bill Volume 1, I actually love all of the Kill Bills. That almost made my list, but all two, yeah, exactly. Billy Elliot, I love that movie. The Hangover. And and Charlize Theron's masterpiece, in Monster, where she plays Eileen Wuornos. That is an acting. I thought that could have been one of the best acting movies of these 5 years, but it just didn't make it into my main top 10.
Tanya, your honorable mentions.
So my first honorable mention is the only one I really want to say anything about is Life is a House, which I love. That's Hayden Christensen. But Janice and I saw it on that same trip we went to London that first time, and we saw it on the plane. And I don't know, there's two 20-year-old girls just weeping on a plane. I had no expectation to see this. It was just, like Ryan had said, like this was when there was just movies. There wasn't like a choice. You just had like one or two or whatever. It wasn't like Netflix. And Hayden Christensen was so fucking good. It's Kevin Kline as the dad,
movie.
right?
I love this movie, yes.
And it's just so moving.
This.
It's just so wonderful. And he's so angry as a teenager, and then having him open up and doing these things. You get these movies from time to time where they're so angry and the teenager opens up, but it's just so fucking good. I love it so much. Okay, here's the rest. Incredibles, which I don't think anybody else mentioned, and I'm sort of surprised because I know Monsters Inc. was on there, but I thought this might have been the other one. I have it as 2004.
Okay.
Okay. Ocean's 11, Lord of the Rings trilogy, Pirates of the Caribbean, Frequency, Legally Blonde, Under the Tuscan Sun, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, Center Stage, Gone in 60 Seconds, Bring It On, Best in Show, The Wedding Planner, Angel Eyes, Wet Hot American Summer, The Princess Diaries, Gosford Park, A Walk to Remember, About a Boy, What a Girl Wants, 50 First Dates, Kill Bill Volume 2, New York Minute, that's the Ashley Olsen, Mary-Kate Olsen movie, Garden State, and then as my final one, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I have never seen it, but it's supposedly what inspired Marcus Mumford to start his band. And it's just one of those ones you're supposed to see. It's supposed to be based on like the Odyssey, and I was like a classical studies minor. It's something I'm supposed to see, and I just never have. And I really want to see it, and so that's why it was on my list.
It's a strange honorable mention for one you haven't seen. By the way, it is on my honorable mentions, and it's good. It's a good movie. It's a lot of fun. George Clooney is incredibly charming in it, as is John Turturro. And so that is on my. That's the last one actually I had on my honorable mentions as well. Was Oh Brother. So here's mine: School of Rock, Sideways. This is the horror movie I was alluding to before. I figured somebody would have had this. The Ring. Nobody had The Ring. I'm surprised. Kill Bill, Donnie Darko, Zoolander, Memento, Finding Nemo, Monsters, Inc., The Emperor's New Groove, and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon are what I have on my honorable mentions. So with that, Amy, you're number one.
All right. This already came up on someone else's. It's 2004's Mean Girls. This is just, I don't know, about a new girl who's assimilating to her environment, and I don't know what to say. I'm tired. I can't come up with anything interesting to say.
And girls
anymore.
are mean to her.
It's really funny. It's so well written, and it's so well acted. Lindsay Lohan.
It's so smart.
Yeah. Rachel McAdams. Everybody just owns their role so well. And I'll just say, like, I went and saw the new one, the musical one, and everybody was just trying too hard to be the characters. It was like they weren't their own version of it. They were just trying to play the part that were like, you can't redo this movie, basically, is what I'm trying to say, because everybody played their parts so well. And
I think
they own their parts, and yeah.
I think Lindsay Lohan could have been the easiest one to replace. I don't know, or maybe the boyfriend, the guy. But yeah, everyone else is like, yeah, you can't replace Regina George.
No, you can't
There's
replace
no
Regina
way.
George. She's fabulous in this
like
movie.
at all. Yeah, Cathy Heron maybe, but
no, I loved her in it.
Really?
I thought that I just thought that what's her face, Moana was really good as the like not best friend. Janice.
Yeah. There were a couple of charming parts of the new one. Like, I really like Renee Rapp's voice, but she's just not Regina George. Like, it's just it's the first one is too classic. It's
magic. You can't redo magic. Yeah.
There's nowhere to go but down.
Right. But that first one, fabulous.
Great choice.
Chef's kiss.
Brian, number one.
Okay, number one. This movie, every time I watch it, I start crying in the beginning, through the middle, and the end. I think it is one of Sean Penn's incredibly underrated movies. It's with Sean Penn, Michelle Pfeiffer, Laura Dern, and Dakota Fanning. It is I Am Sam.
I have had a lot of time, to think about what it is that makes somebody a good parent. And it's about constancy, and it's about patience, and it's about listening, and it's about pretending to listen even when you can't listen anymore. And it's about love, like she said. See, Billy has a home with me, and I made it the best I could, and it's not perfect. And I'm not a perfect parent. And sometimes I don't have enough patience, and I forget he's just a little kid. But we built a life together, and we love each other. And if you destroy that, it'll be Wait, let me.
Irreparable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is about a man who is has intellectual defect, is ID, and he gets a homeless woman pregnant, and his intellectual level is that of a 7-year-old, and his daughter, he basically raises his daughter, and his daughter becomes 7 or 6, and the courts try to take her away from him. And it's just this kid, he's got all of these friends. It's just such a heartwarming movie. And I think it's totally underrated. If you look at the Rotten Tomatoes score, like the critics give it like a 20 and the audience gives it like a 94 or something. I mean, there's such a huge disparity between the critics and that, but it is just such a beautiful movie. And I think Sean Penn is one of the greatest actors of our time. I met him at the San Francisco airport, and he's a nice guy too, so maybe that has something to do with my thought process, but he is phenomenal. And I think he's better. Mystic River was also around this time. I think I Am Sam I think he's much better in that than he is in Mystic River.
I have not seen it. I cannot speak to it. So
Tanya and I are nodding. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I remember being impressed by it.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
All right.
Okay, so my movie is from 2000. This is, again, a very nostalgic movie. I will watch it anytime it's on. I will choose to watch it. I watched it. There was a period of time, probably in 2001 or 2002, where I probably watched it with Amy's dad, like every weekend, and just Remember the Titans.
We're in a fight. You boys are doing all that you can do. Anybody can see that. Win or lose, we're gonna walk out of this stadium tonight with our heads held high. Do your best. That's all anybody can ask for.
No, it ain't, Coach. In all due respect, you demanded more of us. You demanded perfection. Now, I ain't saying that I'm perfect, because I'm not. And I ain't gonna never be. None of us are. But we have won every single game we have played till now. So this team is perfect. We stepped out on that field that way tonight. And if it's all the same to you, Coach Boone, that's how we want to leave it.
Yeah. I hope you boys have learned as much from me this year as I've learned from you. You've taught this city how to trust the soul of a man rather than the look of it. And I guess it's about time I joined the club. Herman, I sure could use your help. Ed Henry's kicking my ass out there.
Listen up. This is our time now. Second half is our time. We're going to make some changes on defense. They're spreading us out too far. We're going to put Sunshine, Allen, Glasgow, Davis. You're going to play both ways. Rest of the game. I don't want a receiver to get across that line of scrimmage. Coach Yost will tell you where you're playing, all right? Let's go. It's our time. Everybody in. Our time, our time, our time. Titans on 3. 1, 2, 3.
It's the football movie with Denzel Washington, and I can't think of the other guy who was in Gone in 60 Seconds. It's just a movie. It's about football. I love a good sports movie. It takes place in like maybe it's the 60s, or no, it must have been the 70s in like Virginia, where they're doing desegregation, but it's like during the Vietnam War also. And so it's just like the white school and the black school coming together, and just the team becoming a team and integrating, and it's just I love this movie so much. I think it's just fantastic. It's but again, this is specifically a nostalgic one. I watch it all the time, and for better or for worse, this is what I think about is watching it with your daddy.
Oh, that's cute. I remember coming home from college, and like I think you had gotten out before me that first year. Oh, you always got out in like May, and I didn't get home until June. and like coming
Yeah.
home and you guys were like watching this together and being like, have you been coming to my house and hanging out with my dad and watching this movie? And it was an absolutely yes.
Probably.
I have been.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Well, my number one, I am going to do an Amy cheat. I am going to do a mega Amy cheat because I'm putting 3 movies in one, but it's really one movie. It's my all-time favorite movie. It is The Lord of the Rings.
Do you remember the Shire, Mr. Frodo? It'll be spring soon. The orchards will be in blossom. And the birds will be nesting in the hazel thicket. And they'll be sowing the summer barley in the lower fields. And eating the first of the strawberries with cream. Do you remember the taste of strawberries? Oh, Sam. I can't recall the taste of food. No, the sound of water. The touch of grass. Naked in the dark. There's nothing. No veil between me and the wheel of fire. I can see him with my waking eyes. Then let us be rid of it. Once and for all. Come on, Mr. Frodo. I can't carry it for you. But I can carry you. Come on!
You don't need me to describe why these movies are great. You know, Return of the King one is tied for the most Oscars of any movie ever. It's an unadaptable book that they adapted and made it look effortless. The cast is incredible. There's so many wonderful moments. So rather than go into all of like the individual things that make the movie great, I'm just going to share a couple of nostalgic things about them. One, after I saw Fellowship, I was so blown away that like I couldn't wait to see it again. And at a certain point, like I can't go to the theater anymore. I don't have that many hours to kill. So I downloaded, like I torrented a copy of it that was like bootlegged in like a theater in China somewhere because it was like clearly shot on a camcorder and had Chinese characters at the bottom, subtitles at the bottom of the screen. I watched that over and over again. It was the best I could do. I had to wait for the DVDs to come out. And then the other thing, probably the most electric moment I've ever experienced seeing a movie in the theater was the moment in Return of the King where, you know, things are looking grim. Frodo's got nothing left. And, you know, they got to trudge that last length up the mountain to toss the ring in the fire. And, you know, Sam tries to cheer him up, but he says, I'm naked in the dark. He's clearly just traumatized and terrified. He's got nothing. And Sam says, you know, I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you. And he throws him over his shoulder and walks up the mountain. And like the whole theater just erupted in like the most like joyous thing. It wasn't even the climax of the movie yet. We hadn't gotten there, but that moment was so powerful that always stuck with me. That like I've never seen an audience react that way to anything. And it was just, you know, a wonderful moment from 9.5 hours of filmmaking leading up to that made it just sing. And so, yeah, just my all-time favorite movies. And I will say, when I finally get Amy to watch it with me, which she's agreed to do at some point, I will say the carrot for her after watching the movie is that the behind-the-scenes stuff on this movie, the DVD extras on this stuff, is the best ever made on anything. They go through everything. It's so detailed and so interesting. And the love of the cast for each other is so great. You'll still see pictures on Facebook of like the 4 hobbits are going out to dinner tonight. Like they're still hanging out still to this day. Like it's really cute. So anyway, that's my pick for number 1, Lord of the Rings.
And if you ever, and just a side note, if you ever get a chance to go to the southern island of New Zealand and see where all of this was shot, or a lot of it is Queensland and Queenstown in New Zealand. I've been there, and it is like incredible. And they will show you the different areas where it was shot, and
yeah, it's on my bucket list.
it's going to. I mean, it's a reason to visit New Zealand, especially for you who loves the movie.
And Tanya.
So you fully made me cry, Doug. That scene because Sammy is Samwise.
Right, your son is named Sam, not just like Samuel, but
is
Samwise.
Samwise. No, is Samwise like Samwise Gamgee? I think that he's quite possibly the best character in literature. So like that is just the epitome of Sam. Maybe not my Sam yet, but maybe he'll get there one day. But it's just a beautiful scene, and it's a great. That's what Janice was actually mad that Lord of the Rings didn't make it in my top 10. But I was like, but they were fully there because it's great, and I love. That's a fantastic. That's the perfect like story, like memory of that.
All right, well.
But you fully made me cry.
Yay, somebody cried
It's also
tonight.
like 11 o'clock at night. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm exhausted. I still have to write a whole motion.
Oh God! All right, well let's bring this to a close. So of course, if you like the show, please go on iTunes or wherever you found it and rate it. That does a whole lot for the show's visibility, and of course, tell friends, spread the word, do what you can. If you want to reach out to us, all the links to the social media network places to find us are in the show notes, but look for Nostalgia Marcanum. Nothing else is spelled like that. And you'll find it on Facebook, Twitter, Threads, Instagram, BlueSky, and TikTok. And coming up next, I think if I've done my math correctly, will just be the second half of this. We're going to get together in a little while and we'll do the films from 2005 to 2009. So we'll do that as a two-parter. I believe the last thing you heard before this was our 100th episode on Friends. So that's what that's the schedule as I think it's going to work out. Again, recording this real far in advance. So, again, everybody, thanks guys for putting these lists together. This is a lot of fun covering these and, really interesting to see, again, how everybody's tastes all shook out. So.
Bye.
All right, guys, we're tired. So until next time, there's one more entry in the Nostalgia Mark.
That jazz.